welcome everyone to our Comic-Con 2022 Fake Nerd Podcast special. We are doing a Comic-Con episode, but it's just the first 3 days. We're just going to do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Sunday, we are recording this on a Saturday because our schedules kind of got wonky this week. We will discuss. Look, you know, these are the big days. If there's Sunday news, we'll just lump it in the news for our next episode.
Nothing important ever happens on a Sunday.
That's true.
It's Lord's Day.
Sunday's the shopping day when you go to Comic-Con. That's the day you go to get all that sweet, sweet merch.
So I'm joined, of course, by... Oh, wait, I'm Brandon T. McClure. I didn't introduce myself. I'm joined, of course, by Sparks Witty.
Yeah, hi. I'm joined by Sammy.
Sammy!
You see me.
Kitty!
And Ryan Eliopoulos.
I'm joined by Kangy. It's Kang for the audio listeners.
And Ben Magnet, who wasn't going to be on this episode, but unfortunately has a bout of COVID.
Yeah.
And is on this episode.
You want to know what really sucks? Is when you find out you're sick the literal day before your flight. Which is what happened to me. Took 3 tests. All of them came up positive. Actually, no. 4 tests, technically. Then my 4th one finally came in today. Straight up saying, yo, you positive. Yo, we reported this to California Public Health Board. Yo, you sick? I'm like, yeah, no shit. I feel like garbage.
Wait,
you know what else?
They reported you to the California Public Health Board, did you say?
Yep. I got
That's funny. Can you just imagine like a do. This is the Public Health Board. Open up.
Now technically he's a flight risk.
That's true. That's true.
You know what also you're positive for? You're positive for hype for Comic-Con, Ben. Ain't that right?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. You're supposed to say yes.
You shut up.
That's what we're here for.
You know
That's literally what we're here for.
No, no, don't get me wrong. I'm always excited for Comic-Con news. I'm always hyped for this. But unfortunately, gentlemen, things have kind of been on my mind besides Comic-Con. You know, me not dying, me pretty much ruining my entire vacation.
Yes.
That I've planned 3 fucking years for.
Yes, Ben. Thanks for... Yes, I understand that. I'm sorry. We're still here to do a podcast about Comic-Con, though. That is the point why we're here.
Yes, we are here for Comic-Con. And I am happy I am here to talk to you guys about Comic-Con because there were some trailers
since Ben brought up personal life, I just want to do a public thank you for working around my schedule because, as you know, my father's been in the hospital this past week, and I appreciate you guys working around that schedule.
Mm-hmm. Hey, baby. I'm working late anyway. It's all good.
That's true. Okay, well, I knew it when I saw all the people going like, "Hey, I'm going to Comic-Con. Hey, I'm going to Comic-Con." I was like, "This is gonna be a big Comic-Con."
It's been a while. It's been a while since we had a real big boy Comic-Con.
Yeah, and I was happy to be right. Why don't we get started though? If there's anything we want to vamp about, why don't we get started with the Eisner Awards?
Oh yeah! Hell yeah!
There's
the Eisner. Well, go ahead, Ben.
No, I was going to say there were some great wholesome tweets with people winning their Eisners, and I could not be happier for those artists.
Yeah. So the Eisner Awards, for those of you who don't know, are the comic book awards. We've talked about them before, specifically the last Comic-Con episode we did. They are held on the Friday of Comic-Con, and it's industry professionals, and it's like the Oscars for comic books. So what we're going to go through the list. I'm going to say the winners, and if you guys want to know who they won against, let me know because I also have that. I also have those. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, best continuing series was a tie between Bitterroot by David F. Walker, Chuck Brown, and Sanford Green, published by Image, and Something Is Killing the Children by James Tynion IV and Werther Dell'Edero from Boone Studios.
Ooh.
Hell yeah! Good job, Tynion.
Nice.
So that was a tie, and I will say who won that because Tynion was up twice in that category. He did for Department of Truth, and Immortal Hulk and Nightwing were also up for that category.
Oh, good job! Yeah, I just pulled the list up for myself too. Good job, Tom Taylor, getting that Nightwing in. That looks fun.
Best limited series went to The Good Asian by Pornsack.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Pishishote.
He's European. It's hard. I get it.
And Alexandra Tefengi.
Yeah.
From Image. That went up against Beta Ray Bill, which is Dana Warren Johnson's book, which I was happy to see.
The Many Deaths of Layla Starr by Ram V. Book's hot, super hot, great book. Ram V is a star always.
Stray Dogs was up for that category too. That's a future book club from me. I'm waiting for Halloween.
I actually just bought that book. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Best new series went to The Nice House on the Lake by James Tynan and Alvaro Martinez Bueno.
Oh, damn, you won too. That's good.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Radiant Black was up for that one.
Yeah, that was a good year for comics. All those books listed right here are really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Best adaptation from another medium went to George Orwell's 1984, the graphic novel adapted by Fido Nesti.
I didn't know that came out. I love that book and that movie.
Disney's Cruella was up for that, a manga adaptation of that movie.
Oh, that's sick. I'm into that. I bet that looks awesome.
Probably does.
Best anthology went to You Died, an anthology of the afterlife, edited by Kel McDonald and Andrea Purcell from Iron Circus.
That sounds great. I love Eisner's because it shows you, hey, here's all the coolest comics you didn't read this year. And I'm like, oh, You Died, an anthology. I'm gonna pick that up.
Yeah, the Silver Coin that was up for this one too, which I heard nothing but good things.
I love that. I stopped reading after the first volume, but that is an incredible anthology where it follows a coin. Yeah, it's great.
Best single issue / one shot, Must Be Able to Stand Alone, went to Wonder Woman Historia, The Amazons, the first issue. Written by Kelly Sue DeConnick and Phil Jimenez.
Ooh, Phil, that art, that is life changing art in that book, y'all. That book's insane.
I'm waiting for the trade, but yeah, I was really tempted to pick it up for the art alone. That one went up against Marvel Voices Identity #1, so that was cool. Best short story went to Funeral in Foam by Cassie Gilly and Raina Telgemeier.
Telgemeier.
This is a story in You Died, an anthology of the afterlife.
Woo! It's a good book. It's a good book.
So that's cool. Oh, Daniel Warren Johnson did a Superman Red and Blue. Oh.
Ooh, spicy.
Should read that. That was up, which is how I saw that. Best academic scholarly work went to Comics and the Origins of Manga, a revisionist history by Ike Exner, published by Rutgers University Press.
Ooh.
Hell yeah, academics get it.
Best comics related book went to All of the Marvels by Douglas Wolk by Penguin Press.
That's not about Captain Marvel, believe it or not.
Best painter / multimedia artist for interior art went to Sana Takeda from Monstrous.
Monstrous was a book club of ours. That book is
still being published.
That book is still. That looks on like issue 50. That book is
still going.
Hardcore.
Best coloring went to Matt Wilson for Undiscovered Country, Firepower, Eternals, Thor, Wolverine, and Jonah and the Unpossible Monsters.
Damn, Matt Wilson is on all those books.
Yeah,
that dude works. That's crazy.
Terry Dodson for Adventure Man was up for that. That was cool. Best penciler / inker or penciler / inker team went to Phil Jimenez for Wonder Woman Historia, The Amazons.
And all these books here are listed below are really great looking books. But man, Wonder Woman Historia, that is like seriously like career defining work for an artist.
I mean, Assad Ribic on Eternals is incredible.
Yeah, but like that is no offense. That is more of him doing his great thing. Mm-hmm. Woman Historia is like straight up like next level shit.
Yeah. Best graphic album reprint went to The Complete American Gods by Neil Gaiman, P. Craig Russell, and Scott Hampton by Dark Horse Comics.
Interesting. So this is just like what's the best reprint?
Yeah, pretty much.
Against Lock and Key, Rick and Morty. Okay, that's an interesting category. Okay.
Yeah. Best publication design went to Marvel Comics Library, Spider-Man Volume 1, 1962 to 1964 by Taschen.
I'm gonna look this up after. Like, why are you picking?
I guess
books?
Like trade dressing. Like you did good for trade dress. Good job.
I guess. I mean, it is the design element. So yeah. No disrespect.
Best archival collection / project. Comic books at least 20 years old went to EC Covers Artist Edition, edited by Scott Dunbier. IDW. Best archivist collection project strips at least 20 years old went to Popeye, the E.C. Seeger Sundays Volume 1 by E.C. Seeger, edited by Gary Groth and Conrad Groth from Fantagraphics.
Good job, Popeye. You're winning something. You're not getting movies made, though.
Right. Oh, my God. That I'm so the worst news that came out of this week was that Gendy's like, yeah, no, it's dead.
Oh, it's so dead.
Popeye movie's dead.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Best humor publication went to Not All Robots by Mark Russell and Mike Deodato Jr.
Mark Russell's the best in the game.
AWA Upshot. Best U.S. edition of International Material Asia went to Love Sickness, Junji Ito story collection by Junji Ito, translation by Jocelyn Allen from Viz Media.
Cool.
Good job, Junji Ito.
I'll look that up.
Best U.S. edition of International Material went to The Shadow of a Man by Benoit Peters and Francois Schuiten, translation by Stephen D. Smith. I think that's Europe. I think that was supposed to be like the Europe division.
Yeah.
Best publication for teens ages 13 to 17 went to The Legend of Auntie Poe by Xing Yin Kor. Kokila Penguin Random House published that. Strange Academy was up for that. And Wind. Wow. It's actually surprised Wind didn't.
Wind. Is that was it ongoing?
It's like it is ongoing, but it's only published like once every 3 months. It's James Tynan's book.
No, yeah. I wasn't sure. I thought that was like a miniseries or something.
Best publication for kids ages 9 through 12 went to Salt Magic by Hope Larson and Rebecca Mock. Margaret Ferguson Books Holiday House. That's publishers. Best publication for early readers up to age 8 went to Chibi Usagi, Attack of the Heebie Chibis by Julie and Stan Sakai, IDW.
That sounds all right.
That's cute. Best cover artist went to Jen Bartel for Future State Immortal Wonder Woman #1 and 2, Wonder Woman Black and Gold #1, Wonder Woman 80th Anniversary, and Women's History Month variant covers.
Man, this is a tough cover artist list. Every person here is insane, and Jen Bartel is like she's so hot right now. She draws like the most beautiful covers. Like
I love her Wonder Woman design. Like honestly, I love it.
Her She-Hulk covers recently are to die for.
Yeah, the people on this category were David Mack, Bruno Redondo, Alex Ross, Julian Totino Tedesco, and Yoshitani. Good talent. Best writer/artist went to Barry Windsor Smith for Monsters Fantagraphics.
This is very cool. Barry Windsor Smith is an old school guy. It's cool that he can still do new stuff like years later.
Yeah. People up for this one were Junji Ito, Alison Bechdel, Daniel Warren Johnson, and Will McPhail.
Junji Ito? Hell yeah.
Best writer went to James Tynan IV for House of Slaughter, Something is Killing the Children, Wind, The Nice House on the Lake, The Joker, Batman, DC Pride 2021, The Department of Truth, and Blue Book, and Razor Blades.
He wrote all those comics in a year.
Yes, he did.
He's a madman.
He won up against Ed Brubaker, Kelly Sue DeConnick, Philip Umello, and Ram V.
Man, yeah, he deserves it. Didn't he win last year?
I don't remember if he won last year.
I could have swore he won last year, but like he's killing it still. Good job, bro.
Best lettering went to Barry Windsor Smith for Monsters.
Woo!
Good for you. Best webcomic went to Laura Olympus by Rachel Smythe. Webtoons.
Oh, I know that. Hey, I read that.
That's getting a show.
Yes, it is.
And that the only one that we recognize, we would probably know went up against was Batman Wayne Family Adventures was up for that.
Sure. That's a great book. It's a great book.
Best digital comic went to Snow Angels by Jeff Lemire and Jock, which is a Comixology original.
Ooh. I love Comixology. Okay.
Best reality-based work went to The Black Panther Party, a graphic history by David F. Walker and Marcus Quaim Anderson. 10 speed.
I've heard really good things about that.
Yeah.
It's been on my list for a bit. Yeah.
That's cool. Best graphic memoir. I'm very happy about this win. Run, Book 1 by John Lewis, Andrew Aiden, Elle Fury, and Nate Powell.
I got it right here. I got it right here. Yeah.
Also, David F. Walker, who just won, he won for Bitter Root for Best Continuing Series at the beginning of the hour. So he won 2 Eisners this week.
Oh, cool.
Hell yeah.
Happy to see John Lewis get that posthumous win.
Yeah.
Best graphic album new went to Monsters by Barry Windsor Smith.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And best comics related periodical/journalism went to womenwriteaboutcomics.com, edited by Wendy Brown and Nola Fow. They did win last year. That I remember specifically.
They are terrific Twitter follows, and their website is terrific as well. Congratulations. Yeah. That's awesome.
And that is the Eisner Awards. Congratulations to all the winners.
Thank you guys for doing that for me. I love celebrating artists. I love it. It makes me so happy.
I'm really happy that you campaigned us to do the Eisners, because I love doing that.
I love awards when people deserve them.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get into some trailers up top. We're going to talk. These are trailers that didn't have anywhere else to go.
Woo woo! I'm ready.
So we're gonna. I assume that nobody here watched the trailer for Transformers Earthspark.
Yes, I did.
There's a what?
You did. So Ben, there's a new Transformers show coming out on Nickelodeon / Paramount Plus, probably both, probably one or the other, called Transformers Earthspark.
Okay.
And it looks miscast.
How so?
Well, Alan Tudyk is playing Optimus Prime, and I'm not crazy about his Optimus Prime voice. And Danny Pudi is playing Bumblebee, and I thought I would like that, but I didn't.
Huh.
It just looks like another Transformer show in like the modern age of like. Sorry, I should be more specific. Another Transformer show on Earth, where it's just like, yeah, all right, like, and I think that the previous shows like Prime and stuff, and whatever the one that was on Cartoon Network that was in between that and this, with Will Friedle as Bumblebee.
Transformers Animated.
Yeah. I'm glad that they keep making Transformers content. I'm just not seeing a lot that's like, oh, I haven't seen this before, other than like, cool, it's a black family. I'm glad, like, I'm not saying that in a put down way. Like, I'm glad that it is specifically an entire family of black people dealing with the Transformers, but like beyond the optics, I just don't see a lot of new here.
So basically the plot is that these two kids birth Transformers.
I don't know.
Like two Transformers, two Cybertronians are created on Earth, so there are Earth Cybertronian hybrid beings, and it's like, and so Optimus shows up and he's like, Bumblebee, you need to train our new Cybertronians.
You're doing too much Cullen. That's not how Tudyk did it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. There's a little bit more nasal in Tudyk's voice.
So I just watched it. It just seems like more Transformers. Like they're not doing anything.
Right.
Like there's honestly nothing. Like the animation's fine. It's kind of doing like the new like modern 3D look that kids shows have that I'm like not super fond of, but it's not winning me over to want to watch it, to be honest. It seems kind of whatever.
Yeah, I was kind of like, okay, Alan Tudyk is doing Optimus Prime. I'm kind of into that, but he's just trying to do Peter Cullen, but he's not doing it well.
Right.
I feel like he's done that type of voice before. I just don't remember from what, because he's done so many.
I know, and I just kind of look at it like I had a perfect Transformers show with Transformers Prime, right? Mm-hmm. Like I think Transformers Prime is incredible, and I think it really nailed everything I loved about Transformers. And I've always been kind of chasing that, and I've never gotten it again.
I think you're pretty much correct in the fact that like it probably doesn't get better in the modern age for a Transformers story set on Earth than Transformers Prime. Yeah. I think I'm firmly at the point where like any new Transformers show kind of has to be more in the line of the Netflix stuff, which I enjoyed to a degree, where it's more focused on the Transformers, and I don't need live action movie kind of killed me on the Earthbound stories.
I think about Starscream's line in that third Transformers show a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, I loved Transformers Animated.
The one with Bumblebee in the lead?
I don't remember, but it's got the big green tank guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Transformers Animated. Yeah, then from 2006. Yeah, that's the jam. Yeah. I like that one.
And this is just where I'm like, I don't know how we're not repeating some of the same beats here. I will say I do like that Optimus gets dirty and uses his wipers. I thought that was
cute. That was cute. Yeah. Because there's a bit where Optimus, like his hands are dirty and he wipes them on his chest, and then his wipers clean up.
That's funny.
The chest plate. Oh, that was cute. I just kind of like, at this point, I'm really just kind of looking forward to Transformers Rise of the Beast.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like something we're not particularly jazzed about, so we should move on because there's lots of other things we are.
Jazz.
How about then House of the Dragon?
Yeah, I watched this trailer because it came out early.
I said things we're jazzed about.
Oh,
Listen,
I'm sorry.
You don't have to be jazzed, Sparks Witty. I really like this trailer. It's like a 3-minute long trailer. I am fully ready to be back in the World of Thrones.
Me too.
I am not just excited to be back in the World of Thrones because it's a world I really like. Every behind the scenes thing that I've heard makes me believe this is a show worth watching, and it's a show they believe in as well. One of the main directors from the Game of Thrones show is coming on to help showrun it. He directed some of the best episodes. George Railroad Martin himself has helped creating it, and he's saying like the thing, and he kind of put down the last seasons of the last show. He was like, the thing about this show is like I know where all the characters are going because I've written them all already, and it's going to be written the way that I wrote them. So like if he respects it, then I respect it. It's got my boy Matt Smith. It's got a bunch of dragons. I love fantasy shit, and it looks cool and expensive, and I'm ready for it.
At the panel, someone asked him, someone said it's Morbin time to Matt Smith, and Matt Smith was like, "What?"
Of course he doesn't know. Of course he doesn't know.
Of course not.
The panel was cute. I caught a little bit of the kind of recap of it, and George Martin was like, I was asked. I almost did a cameo, but I decided that I have to finish the book that I've been writing for 100 years before I can do a cameo in this show.
He acknowledges it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Books are hard.
Yeah, they are. But I'm excited too for House of the Dragon. Trailer looks awesome. Like pretty much, I'm echoing everything that Ryan's saying. Especially like the way the show looks, the dragons, all of it. I'm like, I want to go back. I want to go back so bad.
Mm-hmm. This is like a couple 100 years, or just 100 years?
It's about like a couple 100 years.
The technology is the same. Yeah.
They said they used the volume for the dragon riding sequences, which I thought was cool.
They did, yeah. That is that makes sense for for some like
I think
Avatar kind of, almost.
I think that's kind of where the volume shines too. Is like when we see like in the Mandalorian, I think the best uses of it are in the space flight sequences,
like vistas and stuff.
Yeah. I think when you're seeing it move around a ship is kind of cool, or like in this case a dragon.
And I want to hear. I just want to hear your thoughts, Sparks, because like I actually don't. I don't mind if you're not excited for the show. Like I understand why people wouldn't be. The thing that also excited me is like this show is going to take period over decades and decades of time, because like Targaryens have such a long lineage, and like you're going to see characters like you see in this trailer like grow up over time, and like it's going to be doing like giant time jumps, and I'm always a fan of that type of storytelling when it's done right, because it just like I love being dropped in a new like, oh my gosh, like what's happened since that's what Westworld is doing this season really well, which I really like. Sparks, anything?
I think it's a good trailer. I don't think that there's any trailer that could make me want to go back to Game of Thrones right now.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest, I don't think like any trailer would do it. I think that I have to watch an episode and feel like, oh, I want to watch this, and I don't think anything short of that is going to make me jazzed about it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just don't have that. There's a lot of other things out there that I don't feel the need to go to Westeros right now.
Yeah.
With how I left it the last time, I'm like, I've got the books. There's a lot of other content out there I'm really interested in watching right now. I will give this show a chance. I will watch that episode. If that episode grabs me, then great. I'm happy to be grabbed. I think this is a well-made trailer. I think it does look like a competent show. I personally just am not like, dang, I got to get back there. I'm like, you're not going to grab me with a trailer. You're just not. I've realized that's what it is, because I can acknowledge that this looks like exactly what you'd want it to be. And I'm just like, I'm just not there. I'm not there.
That's fair.
Which honestly probably will benefit me in the long run. It will, where I'll go in and I'll be completely pleased because I will have had no expectations of it whatsoever.
So there's more swords on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there were.
I thought that was interesting that they remodeled it later on in the years. Just be like, okay, you know what, less swords. This is too much.
It is in practical terms. Like you do see a guy cut himself on it, which is bad luck. But I'm like, it's made of swords. What do you expect to happen, bro? Like they smartened and smoothed it down over time.
I think it's also wanting to capture the idea of Martin's description of it more from the books than the show initially did with its run on Game of Thrones, because it is much more
Grandiose.
No, I was gonna say it's much more. I was gonna describe the show one. I was gonna say it's much more condensed.
Yeah.
Down to its
it's like
simplest understanding.
Like the throne of scissors that the Krogan god sits on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sorry, Sparks. I thought you were talking about the one from the book, because the one in the book is like massive.
No, I get you.
Because in the book they actually say it's that although they do make a funny joke, and I want to say season 2 or 3, where they're like the 1,000 swords. There's not 1,000 swords. There's barely even 200. I know. I counted them.
It used to be bigger.
All right, then how about Dragon Ball Super Superhero had a trailer, a Comic-Con trailer?
Ooh, I'm not gonna watch this one just for my safety.
No dialogue in this one. Once again, we do get a little bit at the end, mostly just Piccolo being like, "Gohan, you're the strongest being on Earth. Do something," which I thought was fun.
I've seen bits of this trailer through like mobile advertising, like on TikTok and Instagram. And that animation style is the one thing that's putting me off.
You know what?
I know we talked about it, and we complained about this animation style a lot, but it worked. But the second this animation style was in Broly, it worked in Broly. And this one, I'm glad to see Gohan is taking the reins again. He's like getting better, but at the same time, I still feel something's off.
This is not the animation style from Broly, Ben.
Well, no, he's talking. He said like for the moment, it's like the CGI animation when they break into the other dimension. That's what he's referring to.
Yeah,
kind of. I'm actually.
It's like a more evolved version of what they were playing with there.
I'm actually like all in on this animation now. And I don't know if it's like Stockholm syndrome because I've just seen it a lot, but like I'm so into this. Like I really like, especially this is gonna sound really shitty, especially when it's not moving, because for whatever reason when it's not moving, it looks really pretty.
I think that it's going to be very difficult in the dub because their lips move more distinctly than they do in the 2D animation. So I think the jarringness of the dub is going to be more prominent than it's ever been in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
But with Dragon Ball, I'm a dub boy for life. So that's going to be dub boys. I mean, that being said, I watched Super in sub, and that was a wild transition for me. I do think that I'll be fine with it in context. Yeah. Once I'm watching the movie, the animation, I'll be like, all right, cool. And there'll probably be a few things in there where I'm like, okay.
I'm still looking forward to having a movie just almost solely about Gohan.
Yeah, I am too. I wish I didn't know as many things as I've unfortunately learned.
Oh, I don't know anything.
I won't share. It's my own fault for following too many people who like Dragon Ball stuff on Twitter.
And unfortunately, that movie has come out across the world already. So I have found that movie online in Japanese. So like it's there, but like I'm not disrespecting the movie. We're seeing that in theaters, baby. I'm doing that. We're doing that.
I wish they did a simultaneous release. But I'm optimistic for a good time. An important thing that came up at the panel is that Akira Toriyama said that his son Sasuke will be overseeing the legacy of the franchise in the event of his passing.
Oh yeah,
when he officially stated. So it would be him and Toyotaro, but Sasuke will essentially inherit all the decisions about what happens with Dragon Ball.
But that's
after Akira Toriyama passes.
That's saying Toriyama's doing this until the day he dies, is what he's saying. That's work, baby.
He might have been saying that in a nice way, and like that we are essentially on the precipice of an Akira stepping away moment. I think he still made this announcement because he's like, this is who's going to have the reins of Dragon Ball going forward after me. It's my son.
It's the Gohan taking over for the Goku. That's so cute.
Well, it's nice that he made that distinction because like I think a lot of people were concerned that Toyotaro would take over.
I think that's exactly why it happened.
Because like Toyotaro, like he's fine and he like mimics the art style very well, but like he has been a divisive figure in the fandom as far as like his plotting goes.
Right.
And so I think people were just kind of like, if Toriyama does pass before whatever story he's trying to tell in Super is done, I don't want it to be Toyotaro. So like Toriyama going like, it's going to be my son, I think was to dissuade people's fears.
I agree. And I think it's just really nice that not only that he did that, but that it's his son, that there's a family interest, that his son is passionate about doing justice to these characters in the franchise going forward, even into the future, and that Akira trusts him with it and wanted to make that very plain.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
We haven't had an episode in a couple weeks. If we did, we would have talked about the first trailer for The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. But instead, we're going to be talking about the Comic-Con trailer for The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power.
I mean, if you watch that other one, I think we can just talk about both.
I watched it a long
There's
time
enough
ago. I have no
overlap
idea.
footage.
There's a lot
also
more footage in this one.
This was also like the 3-minute one.
Yeah.
Y'all.
See, that's the thing. Okay, see, that's the thing. It's like, you asked me to watch the House of Dragon trailer and get excited about going back to Westeros, and this came out, and I'm like, y'all, I'm going back to Middle Earth. You guys F off with Westeros. I don't care if I don't get back there for 8 years.
Sorry, Matt Smith. Even I agree with that. Like this is a movie trailer.
Westeros, go sit in the corner. We're gonna be chilling with the hobbits over here.
Man,
like, no, for
so
real
cinematic.
For real though, this looked incredible, and like I was shocked to see how big and expensive it looked.
Because it's not.
Hold on. I had to keep telling myself, this is a television show. This is a series.
Yeah.
This is not a film.
Sauron's hot.
We've been talking about
Eminem.
how this is the most expensive television show ever made. And I'm like, this is a television show.
The same concept artist from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The same music. I'm happy.
Oh yeah! At the panel, it was announced that Henry Jackman, who composed the score for Howard Shore, who composed the score for the first 3 films, came back and scored the main theme for this one. And Bear McCreary took over as the main guy.
Bro,
baby,
get it.
And there's this one
money.
There's this one shot that you only see for a second in the Comic-Con trailer, but you see it for longer in the previous trailer we were just mentioning, where it's bodies that are floating in like underwater, but it's like deep underwater and you can see the fire above the water, so it's making it all illuminate. And I'm like, oh, this is cinema.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's you could have all the money in the world. Like I'll take a shot like at Disney. Disney has all the money in the world. They don't utilize their money well. This is utilizing your budget and making like this like set pieces and like use practical when you need to and like beautiful CGI. Like it's like they're going hard on the show. Like it looks so good.
They took it seriously. They wanted you to feel like this was before the Peter Jackson films. They wanted you to feel that way. And to do that, you have to commit so hard. And they've clearly done it.
Yeah.
I was so blown away by both of these trailers, quite frankly, but the Comic-Con trailer more so. We get a lot more Galadriel in the Comic-Con trailer.
There's a better shot of Isildur.
We get a really great shot of Sauron.
Oh my God, he's so hot!
It's Eminem. It's Eminem.
I'm so glad he's so hot because he's supposed to be.
The best thing is that they were, because like he's not named in the trailer. They do name Sauron, but they don't make the connection.
Yeah.
But the Eminem looking dude is Sauron. Before he makes the Ring of Power, and you're just like,
I'm so glad he's hot.
My tertiary knowledge of the Silmarillion and like just like I've read Lord of the Rings, but I've never read anything else. But like this being like the middle chapter. Like, there's 3 ages where, like, the Lord of the Rings is the 3rd age. The first age, shit's bad. The world got created. It's all evil. Shit's bad. The second period, it's all peace. But then shit turns into the 3rd age, right? And how do we get there? And how do all the people get the Rings of Power? It's great.
Right, and that's why this is such an interesting age for them to do, because the Silmarillion is almost entirely first age.
Yeah.
So this is all just living in the space between. Like, there are no official like novels telling you intimate stories of characters during this time period. There is like the history of Middle Earth that covers this time period that gives you some more details in a broad sense than
we know
what you would get from Galadriel's monologue at the beginning of Fellowship.
Yeah, we know which characters are alive at this point, which is why we see Galadriel and Elrond specifically in this trailer. And so like you have those and you know what those characters were doing prior to being given the Rings of Power. So you can extrapolate from that in many ways.
And Isildur, which is I think one of the most interesting facts is that he's in this fucking show.
Isildur. Celebrimbor. He bing 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 from those games.
He's in the show too, you're right.
Yeah.
we see we saw this in the teaser too, but like there's a Hobbit that says, the skies are weird or whatever. And we see someone falling from the sky. Now there's a lot of speculation that that's a wizard, because that's how the wizards came to Middle Earth, but they didn't come to Middle Earth until the Third Age. But that's kind of contested apparently by Tolkien scholars. So you could fudge it and say that or the blue wizards is what people are thinking. The blue wizards, who are not explored very well in any Lord of the Rings media, could have shown up at the end of the Second Age, which is basically when the show takes place.
I have to assume, because it's a live action thing, like a wizard will be there in some shape or form. They'll make. I would
love it. I would love it if it's the blue wizards, because you don't need to have Sauron, you don't need to have Gandalf, you don't need to have Radagast. You can have the blue wizards, who are never named in the Lord of the Rings and any Tolkien anything written by Tolkien. So you could do anything you want with those two characters.
Right. That's what's so good about, again, like when you're only beholden to like this is when it takes place, and like you got Galadriel and Elrond. All these other characters are just made up, so they can do whatever fun stuff they want and just tell the story through that. And it's like it's so sometimes nice not to be beholden to things. And like this is one way where I would agree.
You have like your guardrails of the First Age and the Third Age, but then you're all loose outside of that. Like you got your points, but like you can go crazy in there.
So excited for this show, guys.
I'm happy to be excited for the show, because I was definitely like started the year, spent most of the year nervous about this show. Because I felt like, boy, like if you whiff on this, you probably whiff on any other Lord of the Rings visual live action media trying to continue on the Peter Jackson established legacy.
Yeah.
That's probably the end of it.
If this is like a 1 season deal, or like it will probably have multiple seasons.
Oh, it's not a limited series. They've never said limited series. So I would say as long as the audience is there, because it is so expensive, as long as the audience is there, there will be more seasons. Probably not a lot because of how expensive it is. We're probably looking at like a 3 to 5.
Makes sense. What's happening right now? If Amazon announces any show, I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm there.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, like they're kind of killing it right now.
They're certainly on a good track right now.
Yeah.
Which is give a lot of money to creatives and let creatives do their creative work.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm happy to be happy.
Me too. There was a director's panel. There always are. There's a director on director panel. This time was Andrew Stanton and Tim Miller and Chad Stahelski. That's the important one. And there was a lot of talk about, like, I'm doing my Highlander movie with Henry Cavill. Andrew Stanton was like, here's what I would have done with the Mars trilogy.
Okay. So somebody tweeted about that in a way where they were purposefully making it seem like Disney Plus was picking up his other two films and like bringing back John Carter stuff. Cool. And I was like, what? And I went and investigated. I'm like,
they got the click, man. They got the
troll. Click. Those sons of bitches.
They got your click.
That's really cool. But then Keanu Reeves showed up and was like, hey, I just did a panel earlier. How about I just sit
here?
You're all breathtaking. Here's John Wick 4, the trailer.
Man, just when you think, how can you just kill people in interesting ways and shoot them up real good? Like, they find a way. They always find a way. John Wick's the best franchise ever, y'all. I love it so much.
There's two incredible actors in this movie that I'm super excited to see. Obviously, Donnie Yen, who is not excited to see John Wick go up against Donnie Yen. And I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who played Scorpion, the one who lost out his role of John Wick 3 to do Avengers Endgame, is now in John Wick 4.
Yes.
Something Sonata, right?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Maybe. You know what? I'm gonna look it up because I need to know that guy's name. You guys banter real quick.
But Avengers, it looks.
Yeah, he was at the very beginning.
It's the Yakuza guy that Hawkeye kills.
Oh yeah, okay, got it. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay.
And he was supposed to be, if I remember correctly, he's supposed to be the bald dude in John Wick 3.
Yeah.
But he did Avengers Endgame instead.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yeah.
He's also in Westworld.
Yes. That's so true. Yes, love that guy. I was thinking about a different actor. Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm stoked. I was less hot on John Wick 3 than the first two, so I was a little nervous that the magic might be gone, and like we might oversaturate a good thing. I'm still a little nervous about that, but I'm less nervous now that I've seen this trailer.
There was a lot. I had the same feeling because, like, if you remember our John Wick 3 review, I was also less hot on it because a lot of it kind of felt like, okay, we're doing a lot of the same beats. We're not. I love the shit out of the beginning of that movie because that's all like interesting kills and really fun, clever ways to do fights, and then it kind of loses that steam all throughout the film. And what I see in this trailer is just a lot of really cool and interesting fight scenes that I hope are just dispersed throughout the movie that I can be really excited about.
Yeah.
John Wick.
All right. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Get out of town.
My God.
Break my keyboard.
Oh my God.
Okay, so this was wild to me because I got to it after some of the hype had gotten out on Twitter. So when I got to the trailer, I had this whole experience where I'm watching it and I'm like, this has all the pieces of just generic fantasy bullshit apparent in it. All the potential for like cheap gimmicks, cheap CGI, going for just like the standard formulaic fantasy thing. And yet somehow it's also clearly better than that. And I'm very impressed that they're in this space where I'm like, it would almost feel like generic fodder. And yet it's giving a very clear vibe that it's more than that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The thing, and I will comment on that because like D&D is kind of generic in nature because it is about the storytelling. So like a lot of it is like, oh, elves and dwarves and you're wearing like tunics and stuff. So like that is
one
all
of the
true.
reasons of the reasons why it's been so hard to get a live action movie of it is because of that. Because it just falls into
it's up to the dungeon master, it's up to the players to craft this own story. And that's why, I mean, you give them the pieces, okay, cool, generic fantasy, whatever, but given the characters and the people who play those characters and the outcomes when you roll a D20 or whatever, that makes the story, that makes something great. And at first when I saw that there was a Dungeons & Dragons trailer, I'm thinking, okay, this movie's probably going to suck. I hear Chris Pine's voice, I'm like, what? And then I see the owlbear, I'm like, holy shit.
The most important thing is that this is the people who made Game Night. And Game Night is one of the best studio comedies to come out maybe ever of all time. For real. So like those guys know how to write characters and know how to write a script. These guys are super nerds. Like one of the guys is from Freaks and Geeks, like John Francis Daly. Like that is a real ass nerd kid who got to make his dream project now. Like it's like a dream come true kind of like project.
And you know what's really incredible about this cast is that much like Game Night, you just populate your cast with charming as hell actors.
I'm so happy for Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for her.
Get out from under Vin.
I was like the guy from
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton, he's in it. Like he does this thing. He does this thing where like he's like shoots his sword.
And
it's like his sword like shoots out and this is a little dagger. I was like, oh, that's cool. Sophia Lillis is in this from It Chapter 1 and 2.
Oh, that's not Bev.
She's the girl who turns into the owlbear. I love her. I think she's great.
She's a druid.
Justice Smith,
who I
is there?
Given a proper script, I think really impresses.
Yes.
It's like, man, the you know what really sold me?
Hugh Grant
is when
boy, when doesn't he?
Where was Hugh Grant in this trailer?
He's the main
he's
guy.
The guy. He's the guy that they're stealing.
He's not in it. He's not in it a lot, but Hugh Grant is the bad guy. Yeah,
he's the guy who's holding the thing.
No. He's he does the scene where he has this scene where he's in the arena and he like does this thing. He has no speaking lines. He's just there.
It's very short.
Okay, because I didn't recognize. I'll have to rewatch.
Hugh Grant's the bad guy.
But it's when it's when he's like he also plays the lute, and then Chris Pine does the.
Oh, you mean the end of the trailer? Yeah,
the trailer. Because like, a good bit. I was really into it, but that was like, oh shit.
So like, because the trailer starts and I understand D&D enough to know like we're a party of thieves, and I'm like, well, no, you're not. Like you're all stealing, but you're not a party of thieves. You're a party of all these different things. And so like the whole time I'm watching the trailer, I'm like, so what exactly is Chris Pine? And then it's like, he's the bard.
I mean, because they're all thieves. Like, okay, you're all not rogues. I could see, and then it's like you see Michelle Rodriguez. She's a barbarian. I saw this great TikTok. I'm bummed that Brandon doesn't have it because I want to send it to him. Because this guy essentially said that thanks to Dungeons and Dragons, Michelle Rodriguez is officially the Fast and the Furious.
There was a talk about this movie. Someone made this theory, and I don't know if I want this, but at the same time I kind of do. Where like someone said on Twitter, was like, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be great if like halfway through the movie it's just like hold up and we just zoom out and it's just people playing D&D?
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh yeah, that's why they got the game.
Honestly,
that's why I thought they got the guys who made Game Night to do exactly that thing.
I would.
I'm immediately like picturing shots over them like traveling through the woods or something that look like the Game Night pieces, so they look like miniatures traveling on a map. God, I hope that's true. But
at the same time, just a high budget fantasy comedy based around Dungeons and Dragons would also be really great if done well. So like either direction you want to go in, I'm totally sold. And the other thing is like I feel pretty confident in this because I've seen enough people on Twitter, and the D&D fandom just popped up on my came alive on my Twitter feed being like, this looks like a campaign from Dungeons and Dragons.
Boy, let me go to Marks.
No, I was gonna just real quickly say I got like big galaxy brain when Brandon brought that up because I'm like, God, you could like do so much with a Dungeons and Dragons franchise in general, but like this movie, if you're saying that like the people who are playing it can be different from the people they're playing and how that affects how they craft their but how that affects how they craft their like more substance to it than the way Jumanji does it. But like, you know, is a male playing the female barbarian, and you know, like vice versa kinds of things, and like how that translates into how they present their characters. It could be so cool. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Like I am happy either way. If it's a game night or if it's just a D&D, I would surely be happy either way because it's going to be a good time with these guys. The thing that like I grew up not really playing Dungeons and Dragons until I got older, but I bought, I'm not joking, every single monster manual because I love drawing monsters. I love learning about monsters. So
they look so cool.
They look so cool. Yeah. Like the first thing that I noticed in so much fantasy shit, when you see a dragon, what do? They spew fire. That is the 99% of the time dragons spew fire. Dragons spew an acid in the beginning of this trailer. And I've never seen that in a $200 million movie before. And I'm like, damn, they didn't have to go hard. They didn't have to go for the black dragons.
Yeah,
and that's the thing about like the trailer that I really dug, where it's like you see that dragon, you see the owlbear, you see the gelatinous cube that's just in the middle of the thing. Like these things are indicative of Dungeons and Dragons. These are not just generic fantasy. These are Dungeons and Dragons fantasy, and like it's really cool to see them incorporate that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like when Ryan was talking about with the dragon thing, it's like because it's a black dragon, and in like the D&D monster manual, black dragons spew acid.
It's gnarly. They disintegrate.
I
love it.
I got 99 dragon fires, but a dragon acid ain't one.
Hey, did you guys see the chonky dragon at the end of this trailer?
Oh yeah.
I'm excited.
Oh, I'm so happy to be excited about this movie. Like quite honestly, it's one of my favorite. It's one of my most anticipated next year.
If you include House of the Dragon on the hype list, there are 3 fantasy things coming out that are high budget fantasy stuff this year, and that's all time record for fantasy right now. So I'm just
I truly think I noticed this too, Ryan, and I truly think that specifically if Dungeons and Dragons is a hit and the Lord of the Rings of Power is also a hit, we're gonna see an uptick in some fantasy shit.
Renaissance.
It's already happening because of Critical Role's increasing popularity.
Oh yeah.
So I think that there's a good chance we're going to see some more fantasy projects funded.
What's really exciting is that let's go and play like a macro level and talk about like a studio level. Paramount is coming off of their biggest hit ever with Top Gun Maverick. If they put out this movie and it's a huge hit, we could be looking at Paramount fundamentally changing the way they move as a studio and and moving into a new renaissance for Paramount.
They could never ever have predicted that not only Top Gun Maverick would be a hit, that is now one of the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time.
Yeah.
Unbelievable shit. Good job, Tom Cruise. Like you deserve that one for real.
And so like Paramount has struggled. like a lot of studios have struggled in the Disney era. Universal, Warner Brothers, we talk about all the time how they struggled. They were these studios, all of them would give the faith to their creators, and then they would go and make a movie, and they would be happy with it. And they saw a lot of success from that in the late 90s and early 2000s, and they've moved away from that hardcore because they've been struggling. But could we start to see, because of Top Gun Maverick, because of Dungeons and Dragons, could we start to see that Paramount, like we're kind of seeing with Warner Brothers, do this kind of new renaissance of where they give these creators the big budget to do what they want?
It's just so funny. That's like, if you make good movies, people come to see them. That's all it ever is. And they made Top Gun Maverick, which is an incredibly good movie. I'm like, just make better movies, y'all. That's all we asked for.
I gotta say, like, with this now on the horizon and two of my favorite films of the year coming from Paramount, there's a good chance that they're on the rise. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
right.
Paramount shit.
Right.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Damn, Paramount. I see your streaming service now. Okay.
The past few years, Paramount has been knocking out the past few months. I mean, Sonic, Top Gun.
This has been a good year for Paramount.
Very good year for Paramount.
And this is not the last time we'll talk about them today.
Oh. I feel like there was another trailer for a Paramount film I watched recently that looked incredible, but don't worry about that now.
All right. Well, why don't we talk about The Walking Dead?
Oh, okay.
Was there a trailer?
We're not going to talk about the trailer because
We're moving on from trailer stuff, I think, mostly.
Yeah, we are.
Like single trailers.
I'm going to look it up anyway.
Okay, there is a trailer for Tales of the Walking Dead, which is an anthology series. I don't care. I don't watch it.
Harry Crews.
Is he
I'm
really
not gonna
in that?
Yeah, he's in it, but I'm not watching that trailer.
That's funny. But the big news was that Rick Grimes and Michonne are coming back to The Walking Dead. Remember they shoved Rick Grimes off of the show to make movies.
He was scheduled to make 3 movies. What happened to those movies, Brandon?
There are now a 6 episode limited series.
That's for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, three movies is too many movies.
It was always too many movies. It was always too many movies.
It's like 4 movies too many.
It was always too much. I'm glad that they've reduced it down to a limited series, and I'm glad that they've decided that Michonne should be part of it because she should.
So it will. So, however, EW is apparently confirming. This didn't come from AMC, so that could not be true. EW is apparently confirming that it is not a limited series. The first season will just be 6 episodes.
What are you doing? Come on, Rick. You left for a reason. You can't be doing. If you don't stand for something, you leave for. You don't stand for anything.
Are we sure they haven't killed all the zombies yet? Are we sure?
There's a lot of people in the United States, I guess.
There's a lot of people in this one state.
The humans are the monsters. They're the Walking Dead.
Anyway, it will feature Michonne and Rick Grimes, and it's going to basically end their story arcs. It's going to cap them off. Finally,
it's gonna kill them. It's gonna turn them into zombies.
It's going to do.
They didn't have the room to do that in the regular show, so
yeah. This is going to do what those movies were meant to do.
Right.
That's fine. That's fair. And like, I get it. Like Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln was on that show for so many years, and he's like, "Hey, I'm missing my children grow up. I have to leave the show. Like, literally, my family needs me." So, like, I get that. It's just like story reasons. Like, it doesn't feel like Obi-Wan. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh hell yeah, Rick, cool. Like, I'm kind of done.
The final episodes are airing, so they've released a trailer for like the final episodes of season 11, which is going to be the end of the show.
Oh, for real? It's actually ending?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never been so out of the loop on a show that I used to watch so much of.
All right.
I still want to watch that the Brave New World spinoff. I still heard great things about it. I still want to get to that.
Oh yeah, the colorful one.
The one about the like teens that have grown up in the post zombie.
Oh, that one. Okay.
I'll wait a year. Yeah.
If any one of these Walking Dead shows interest me, it's that one, the one that Sparks talked about.
Yeah.
Because that one's like, okay, you could probably have some good character moments with that one, but everything else is like, just freaking end already.
Real quick back on the Paramount thing, just because I'd taken a look. The trailer I was thinking of was Smile, which is coming out soon. And another Paramount movie I liked this year a whole lot was Scream.
That's Paramount too?
Mm-hmm.
Look at you, Paramount. Papa Paramount coming back.
Paramount. What are you
Paramount.
doing, Paramount?
what are you
Ooh,
doing?
Those mountains.
Oh man. All right, Tiny Toons.
Ooh.
Wait,
Tiny
Tiny
Tell me
Toons?
more.
Tiny Toons are coming back.
Seriously?
Yeah. Steven Spielberg is executive producing a new Tiny Toons TV series. This didn't have any footage shown, but there was an image released. So it's going to be a new series, which will be 30-minute long episodes coming to HBO Max.
Oh.
And Steven Spielberg himself was there to talk about it. Not like there. He was like in a screen. Like he's not coming to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But like he did it's going to be about the Tiny Toons going to college.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
And finding
Ooh.
themselves in college. And Spielberg said this will be the best iteration of the Tiny Toons yet.
They're doing what I've always wanted, like Rugrats all grown up to do. Like, just like grow up. And like, they're doing it with Tiny Toons. It's like, grow up. Hell yeah.
It's so interesting. Tiny Toons is such an odd little forgotten duck, I feels like.
I
sometimes.
loved Tiny Toons.
We were the right age, but I mean, like, outside
Yeah.
of that, nobody gives a shit about the Tiny Toons. So this is
No.
really interesting.
No, when I
Yeah.
was a kid, I think I liked Tiny Toons a lot more than I liked Animaniacs, because at least with Tiny Toons, you could possibly see Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd, all those classic Looney Tune characters that we grew up with, but also seeing like Buster and Babs do their whole thing.
Man, Ben, if you want to see those characters, I got a show for you. Maybe a few.
Oh,
It's called Looney Tunes, right?
It's called the Looney Tunes Show. It's called Looney Tunes. Animated
I'm with you though. I also like Tiny Toons more than I like the Animaniacs.
I am homesick right now, and I got some time. So
Yeah, this guy's almost done with DuckTales.
Tiny Toons.
I hear there's some Evangelion that needs watching.
That's true.
Oh yeah, there is Evangelion that he's
He's
watching.
got time.
4 Evangelions. We gave you 2 extra weeks. All right.
He even gave himself an extra week.
So what's the
That's
next thing?
true. The next thing is Berserker, that Boom Studios comic written by Keanu Reeves. Is Ryan frozen? Am I frozen?
No, I think Ryan's frozen.
No, Ryan's
Okay.
Am I still frozen?
You're kinda slow.
You're just a little slow.
No.
Because like he looked like Smile, right? He looked.
Yeah, I was looking at it too because he was just like
See, it's funny when it happens to me because I think all of y'all are frozen, and then I'm like, no, I'm the smiling one.
That's the plot of Smile.
This is Smile.
Then my
All
head
right,
goes
so-
down sideways.
So Berserker, Keanu Reeves was there to talk about Berserker, not the comic. He was there to talk about the adaptations to the comic, adaptations plural, because there is an anime coming to Netflix, which has already been renewed for a second season. So 2 seasons of an anime from Production IG for Netflix. And then he announced the movie. Well, I mean, he didn't announce it. We knew there was the movie coming, but Mattson Tomlin, who wrote the Batman, is writing the screenplay for it, and he talked a little bit about it. He was like, "My inspirations are The Matrix, Tree of Life, and the Fountain." Nice pull for the Fountain. I haven't thought about that movie in ages.
Yeah,
I love the Fountain.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, that book is fine.
I'm mixed on Berserker. It's fine.
I was just gonna say, like, does Berserker warrant all this outside of
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves' involvement?
It's about an immortal man killing people, and like I've seen that story before, so I don't know.
I was the smiley one.
I see the old guard. Like the old guard's sitting right
Yeah.
there. All right, all right.
Just put him on. Just put him on.
It
the
just
old card.
seems. I feel like this just seems like a lot to me. Having not personally read the comic, but not hearing anything in particular that made me feel like I needed to jump on it. It just seems like maybe just one adaptation to start with was a good idea. I don't know. This was a lot.
I think the no worries, Ryan. Ryan just texted us.
Yes, I saw that.
I think the idea of a movie adaptation or an anime adaptation are fine. Yeah, the book's fine. I'd be down to see Keanu do something.
2 seasons of the anime right off the bat, plus a movie.
It's kind of like the Invincible, how they're very sure that Invincible movie is filming still, and I'm like, it'd be a show.
I mean, Seth Rogen's involved with both, so I mean,
That's true.
he'll probably get whatever he wants done. You look great, Ryan.
Thank you.
National Treasure.
Yeah.
Ooh, Book of Secrets.
Edge of History.
Silent but deadly.
The new National Treasure show coming to Disney Plus had an 18-second teaser trailer that was shit. Don't watch it.
I'm watching it.
However, it did have a featurette,
I'm gonna watch it too.
which was pretty cool.
Tell us about it, Brandon.
So the featurette told us basically everything about the show. It's about this kid. It's about these group of like 20 somethings. The main character is Jess, and they're going after something that is going to lead to the solving the mystery of her family. And all the while, Catherine Zeta-Jones is the bad guy.
Ooh.
She's the black market dealer who is after the same artifacts. These like boxes, these like compass boxes. And the featurette, they had the guy who plays Riley Poole. He talked about how like it's weird coming back and why he likes National Treasure, because it uses American history to kind of weave this conspiracy tales of like treasure hunting. And I'm like, yeah, that's also why I like National Treasure. I'm into this.
Yeah.
What else has that actor been in?
He was hot after National Treasure 1.
Yeah,
Was he?
He was in the Hangover films.
Yes, he was.
He's not one of the main guys.
No,
is he?
he's the guy they lose.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's not important. No offense,
That
Riley.
is built into the DNA of that character, is that he's not important. So I gotta side with Ryan on that one.
Good for that guy though. He gets to come back. That's cool.
It also revealed that Harvey Keitel from the first film, who was the cop who was chasing Nick Cage in the first film, he's coming back, reprising his role.
That's fun. Okay.
Yeah. They did talk about Nick Cage. Apparently Nick Cage was approached to come back, but his schedule with movies and another show that he's doing just didn't work out, but they hope to get him for season 2.
Okay.
I wouldn't be shocked with the way they could squeeze in post-credit scenes very, very end. Hey, it's me.
You know what that means? You know what that means is that if they get it, then at the end of season 1, you're going to get a little stinger at the end, and it's going to be him being like, "It's finally time to get to that thing from the book."
And so interestingly, at the panel they talked about how the series. Well, Ryan might not know.
Yeah, go for it.
How the series will tie back to the book.
Good.
Of Secrets?
Yeah.
Wait, is it called the Book of Secrets?
No, it's called Edge of History.
No, what's the second?
No, the
This is
second,
the second
one.
one.
It's the Book of Secrets.
Okay. Blair Witch 2 also has a movie called Book of Secrets.
Yes,
Right.
it does.
I'm just making sure we're same universe.
Yeah, Blair Witch Project and National Treasure, same universe. No.
You need to steal from the Blair Witch.
I mean, I've never seen Nicolas Cage and the Blair Witch in the same room at the same time, so I don't know.
There's also a lot of like footage in the featurette of like what's the guy, the lightning guy who discovered lightning?
Benjamin Franklin.
The Benjamin Franklin glasses, and the pipe from the first film. That was in the thing. So like they're using Benjamin Gates's stuff as a launching point to discover this new mystery, which was kind of cool. So they're saying all the right things. I'm really excited for the show now.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they got a lot of. It looks like they are building a adventure story, a treasure hunting story that even audiences can like kind of follow along with.
I'm there for Catherine Zeta-Jones. I'll tell you that.
I'm definitely the potential of it.
I am down for more treasure hunting.
Me too. Teen Wolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sparks, why don't you tell us a bit about the trailer that dropped?
I'm gonna watch it.
Y'all. I was really happy.
Were you?
Yeah, I was. I was like, shit. Like, I know I like Teen Wolf, but it's been a while. And I was watching the movie, and I'm like, oh man, I really like Teen Wolf.
Ninjas.
You got tip of the iceberg, buddy. Tip of the iceberg.
Shadow ninjas. This looks cool.
He's not wrong. Like, it's real good.
No, I watched
Tyler,
it.
I
watched it too.
Tyler Hoechlin back. I'm just so glad that worked out, because it really feels important if you're going to have Scott McCall back for this kind of adventure to have Tyler there, because he's essentially his older brother figure.
Did you hear what they said at the panel where it's like, yeah, everyone you wanted to come back came back, and I was like,
Yeah, no, I did not see that, but that's definitely still like a
Dylan O'Brien.
Did they? Because I'm pretty sure everybody wanted Dylan O'Brien back, and I'm pretty sure everybody wanted oh my god, I forget the actress's name, but the one the we've talked about her before. She's the Asian co-star who had taken over the love interest role for Scott McCall, our main character, after they had killed off Allison Reed's character, who's the actress from Swamp Thing. Allison is back, who died, and she's back, and it's a big deal in the story that she's back. But they took away Scott's previous new love interest, so that's shitty.
How many years ago did Teen Wolf end?
4?
Oh, it's only
God. Okay. It feels like 4. Hold on, I will Tyler, look it up. It has been some time.
Superman just looks like Superman. He just looks like I just came from the Superman set right now.
Are there other? I mean, yes, but like, what other mythological creatures are in this show?
Many.
Shadow ninjas.
Shadow ninjas.
The nine-tailed fox. That's who Scott McCall was dating. After Allison, she was the nine-tailed fox spirit.
Is this a wolf exclusive kind of show?
No. There was
Shadow ninjas.
I forget the name of it, but there was like a lizard-like mythological creature that they fought against for season 2, which was really good. They face witches.
Burn them in the ditches.
Like in a really like creepy like think like The Witches, the comic, WYCCHES, that kind of feeling of witches.
Creepy.
So like not that hardcore, but like definitely in the like kind of creepy hands coming out of the trees. Don't really get a good look at them. They're more monstrous than they are human, kind of thing.
Vampires?
I don't honestly think so. To my knowledge,
for Vampire
I don't
Diaries.
remember that ever happening.
Hey, don't joke. I almost put Vampire Academy on the trailer list.
So it looks like it was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow, it seems. I feel like it's so much later for some reason.
Teen Wolf's cool. I encourage people to watch it if they have the opportunity. It's a much better show than you would expect from MTV.
Yeah.
Well, we also knew prior to this that there was going to be they're not calling it a spinoff, they're calling it an offshoot. The show is called Wolfpack. Mm-hmm. We have some information thanks to Comic-Con. It will follow 2 teenagers whose lives are changed when a Californian wildfire awakens a terrifying supernatural creature, and Sarah Michelle Gellar will be one of the leads.
Wild. God, I'm so happy.
Wait, this is a Teen Wolf spinoff we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I never thought Teen Wolf would get further than season 3. So the fact that it's gotten this many 6 seasons in a movie.
Okay.
And a spin-off series. Like, this is wild.
It's not the one I wanted.
Is this on MTV or is it on something else?
Now it's available on Amazon. But it was originally aired and made by MTV.
This movie is coming to Paramount Plus.
Yes.
Oh, Paramount. There you go.
I'm not sure if Paramount Plus has the previous seasons of Teen Wolf at the moment, but I do know that I think they're on Hulu right now too, but I know they're on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I started watching Predators on Hulu, by the way.
Nice.
That's a good movie. Prey comes out in 2 weeks, guys.
That's
hot reviews.
So excited.
Hot reviews.
I know. I'm so stoked because Prey had.
So mad that movie's not coming to theaters.
I'm so mad about it. People got to screen it in theaters for the press, and that's how
you know what?
See it.
You know what? I take it back. I'm not that mad that it's not coming to theaters because let's be honest, like the marketing push that they've made for it has not been big enough.
Nope.
Had it gone to theaters, it probably wouldn't have done as well as they wanted, and I feel like it'll do better at home and be incredibly successful. I believe.
I went through an interesting phase because I was like, you know what? I'll watch The Predator because I feel like watching a Predator movie. So I started watching The Predator and I was like, yeah.
This is not the Predator I wanted.
As I went to Hulu, I was like, oh, Predators. All right, anyway. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah, man, that Comic-Con screening apparently was, oh, God. I'm so excited for Prey. Okay, anyway. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
At a panel that was not necessarily an Avatar panel, it was revealed by one of the creators of the show, one of the voice actors, that the first movie will be based around Aang, Katara, and Sokka and the rest of the gang as they are older, and it will be going to theaters exclusively.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's a theater. It's a theatrical release.
So notably, they're still going to. It seems they're still going to be younger than a lot of the flashback stuff we saw in Korra.
Yeah.
Oh,
this
it has
is them
to be.
like.
Oh, yeah.
This is them like 10 years ish on.
Yeah.
Well,
From
they're
the end.
dead. They're like 90 years old or dead in Korra because that's like
No,
the
10 years on
flashbacks.
from Avatar: The Last
Yeah.
Airbender.
I'm ready more. Just give me more. I want it all.
I was talking the flashback stuff in Korra.
Oh,
It's going to be even earlier than like the youngest we saw them there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we saw them after, like, post Aang's first kid was born, but post Tenzin.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I think it's so it's going to be younger than that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, this is probably going to be before that anyone has any kids, but I'm all for it. I was thinking they're probably going to do Kyoshi first.
a lot of people did. I'm so excited about this.
Oh, I'm down. I am hardcore
I gotta say,
back at Avatar.
the most exciting thing for me isn't that who it's about. It's that it's coming to theaters. This is going to be a huge film.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it is for me too. Yeah, that's definitely like the main draw.
2024 is when it's released. Paramount.
Paramount, baby.
Paramount.
Paramount.
What are you doing?
Paramount.
Stop it.
Is this going to be the new Avatar Studios
getting-
first main project
Yes.
after
Yes.
forming Avatar Studios?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can thank Netflix for all this happening.
We
Thank
gotta,
you,
be,
Netflix.
we gotta be careful with these sexy Paramount jokes. Brandon's getting a little too close to making a shirt.
It's like isn't the Paramount logo like the mountains or whatever? Isn't
Yeah,
the mountains?
yeah.
And it's just like, ooh, those mountains.
Yes.
I might see about that. No, I think that the Paramount. No, sorry. I think that yes. The Avatar Studios. They are working on a new show. I believe they talked about, but these movies were kind of the priority.
Yes.
And I'm really happy that they decided that the first one would be revisiting the gang. Because that's been something people have wanted. That's why the comics do so well, or at least did so well when they first came out. People wanted to revisit these characters.
This is essentially you getting your I want to see Luke, Han, and Leia post Return of the Jedi show, but for Avatar. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then after that, it's just everything after this is just gravy.
This is gravy. Let's be honest. This is gravy.
This is gravy.
It's great gravy.
It's crazy that that Netflix show. Boy, that Netflix show should not have gone forward after this. After they announced, like, hey, by the way, we're screw this.
It's so many years too. Like I'm not going to put down that show too hard. Like we haven't seen anything from it yet, but it's hard to maintain the kind of excitement for it
Danny Pudi,
that
isn't
you
it?
needed to for that long. Yeah,
Danny Pudi was just casting it
Ooh.
we'll see.
I
as
am
Aang.
for
Okay.
Avatar.
Okay. Comics. I apologize, Sparks. It's a lot.
You don't need to apologize. I like comics. I just might not have a lot to contribute if I don't know exactly what we're talking about.
That's fine. We could probably blow through a lot of this, probably not all of it, because I think there's some juicy stuff here. I tried to keep just the juicier stuff.
I love juice.
Let's start with DC Comics. Gcpd, The Blue Wall. Controversially. Written by John Ridley with art by Stefano Raphael and Reiko Murakami. It will follow Renee Montoya in her new role as GCPD commissioner. She wants to rebuild the department and restore Gotham's faith in its police officers, which could be especially hard considering how bad things have been in the city lately.
Okay, the fact that it's titled that and you said John Ridley, I was like, all right, okay.
Making Renee a cop again, though.
She's the commissioner in the Batman comic right now.
I know, and I realize that this is not a John Ridley decision. This is kind of I don't want to do what people do to like Tom Taylor with like the Batgirl thing, because he was left with Barbara Gordon no longer being Oracle, and he got a lot of flack for it.
Sure.
And so like this is not John Ridley being like, I have made Renee Montoya being commissioner again. But the decision that DC made to make her commissioner, make her a cop again, like no longer question. And now giving her this kind of thing, it's like this is the one where I'm just kind of like, I don't know. John Ridley kind of gives me like hope that this could be something.
Well, may I bounce off that to say, like, I think this is exactly the reason to be hyped about it, is because it's John Ridley, because it's a book called The Blue Wall. The fact that he'll take advantage of who Renee Montoya is in that environment for the story in a way that other people writing Commissioner Montoya right now might not be. And I think that adds a lot of value to it. Like, this is going to be a someone who is affected by its perspective of what's happening. And I think that can be really good.
That's
I'm all about, like, John Ridley wants to take it to the Gotham police, who are supposed to be the shittiest. Sure, controversially, it's going to be an allegory of like shitty cops in our real world, but they're also supposed to be the shittiest cops in the whole world. Yes. So we should be able to do this story and use it for that. Use it for that.
No, I am on both sides of the thing. Like, I would Renee not be degraded back down to status after she was a question, because that is like the best role that she could possibly be. Like, that is the perfect character.
She was drawn to that role because when she came out, she was pushed out of the GCPD.
Right.
Yeah, and like, she has a bad history with the GCPD and shit. So like, it is interesting that DC's like, no, we got to make her a cop again. But like, if John Ridley is going to do the thing where like, hey, if you want me to make her a cop, then she's gonna tackle and she's gonna fight against every shitty cop in the city because she's a good person. And the thing about fantasy is, like, this isn't the real world, where like she can make a difference in Gotham with shitty cops, where that is a thing that can happen in fictional storytelling, which makes sense for Gotham.
Well, and that's like the, because of the thing that Brandon was saying earlier, that John Ridley did not make this choice for her, but he can see an opportunity.
True. Exactly.
Yeah.
I hope for good. I still am waiting up, perhaps naively, for Renee to become Question again.
At this point, my guy, I don't think so. I think we should just be happy that
she's the dream alive,
that she has a book at all. Like, honestly.
However,
someone who grew up with her as the Question will write comics.
You're right.
And change it one day.
Yeah.
Because, like, status quo always reverts. Commissioner Gordon will come back. Gordon will become commissioner again someday.
The Justice League are dead right now. That's definitely staying true for 6 months. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Batman Incorporated. We knew this book was coming. Ed Brisson. We knew that this one was coming. Ed Brisson and John Timms are relaunching Batman Incorporated. What we didn't know is that it will feature Ghostmaker, who is a James Tynion created character from his Batman run.
Cool.
In the lead. So he'll be leading Batman Incorporated, not Batman.
That's so cool. That is so fascinating, because that character definitely was like, he was like posed as a villain, but he's kind of more like an anti-hero.
Yeah. He's a friend of Bruce.
From a kid, from his childhood. So like, that is really cool that like they are keeping a new original character alive instead of just tossing him to the side.
Yeah. And I've heard nothing. I haven't read Tynion's Batman run, but I've heard really good things about the character of Ghostmaker. Apparently, he was like the standout character from that run.
Him and cool. And Punchline.
Yeah, Punchline. I didn't put that down, but Punchline's also getting an ongoing book. Sorry, Punchline.
That's definitely a more interesting concept right off the bat, is to just not have Batman in charge.
Yeah. But the image that was sent got me really excited, because it's the third Knight. So Knight and Squire are my favorite Batman Incorporated characters, and the second Knight had a female Squire who became Knight when that Knight died, and now she is on Batman Incorporated, and I'm like, yeah,
legacy baby, I love it.
Okay, Batman Gotham Knights Gilded City.
Right back.
Yeah. Will be a 6-issue prequel comic to Gotham Knights, the video game.
We always get these.
Yeah. However, each issue will come with a code that will be redeemable in the game.
Ooh. Sons of bitches. That's how that Fortnite comic got me, man.
It's just a Fortnite book, but with Knights.
Yeah, but the Fortnite comic is good, though. So, like, as long as the book's good.
I'm not going to say the comic's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I'm also happy that the Fortnite comic is good. But yeah, this is just the same strategy, and then they're gonna put the single issues out, and then the trade's gonna have all the codes in them.
But like the codes are like, you get like costumes and like, or vehicle or things like that.
I'm into that. I eat that shit up.
Nothing to be ashamed of. And it'll get people interested in the game, get people interested in the story. So
buying more comics, absolutely.
Exactly.
All right, Gotham City, year 1.
Batman, can you take a break, bro?
There's a lot of Batman. I said DC Comics. I should have said Batman.
I was really hoping for a little more diverse callings this year, but I guess not.
There really wasn't.
Like, yeah, that's okay.
It's not anniversary year for Batman, is it? I'm not tripping on that.
No, it's not. It's just every year's an anniversary for Batman as far as
every
DC is
year.
concerned.
It's Bat Day every day.
Yeah.
Well, Gotham City year 1 will be written by Tom King with art by Phil Hester.
That does rule, unfortunately.
Well, this will be about Slam Bradley, who is a GCPD officer. Before, like, years before Batman showed up, and it's going to be about him, essentially.
So I do hate the lament way too many Batman books. This isn't a Batman book. This is a early Gotham and like a dude trying to take out crime before Batman exists. And it's Phil Hester and it's Tom King, and I love me some Tom King. And it's going back to the year 1 formula of double-sized 4-issue books again. So it's going to be like 8 issues in total, but 4 double-sized issues. And I'm a big fan of that. Year 1 is great. I'll take more of year 1, please. And it's Tom King. Yeah.
The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing. This is going to be a sequel series to the Joker book that James Tynion is leaving. He's ending that book at 15, and then this book will continue. Matthew Rosenberg is going to be the writer on this one. We don't have an artist as of yet. It's going to be pick up after the Joker 15, and a new creative team is taking on the Clown Prince of Crime as he traverses the United States, causing mayhem.
I'm not going to read that book, but that is cool that the Joker is going like nationwide to mess with people. That's a cool idea. I'm surprised that book's getting relaunched. It must be doing well enough to like try another volume of it. Good for Joker, I guess.
I guess Gordon will continue to be a main character in the book because like the reviews when it first dropped when the first Joker book dropped was like, it's a stealth Gordon book. Like, this is about Gordon.
He's going on the road just like the Eat, Bang, Kill tour.
Yep. Sparks, did you want to say anything about Gotham City year 1, Batman Gotham Knights Gilded City?
No.
Okay.
What is Gotham City year 1?
Tom King, Phil Hester book.
I'm excited for it. It takes place like around Batman year 1, but it's about like a cop who like this is before Batman, him just trying to clean up crime on his own. So it's just like a cool neo-noir Gotham book.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds cool. Basically, if Ryan says it's cool, he's probably right.
Oh, thank you.
Gilded City one is a prequel to the Gotham Knights video game, and we'll have codes for the game.
So you'll get like costumes and shit.
Okay.
Okay. We all know that there's an event going on called Dark Crisis.
Yeah.
Well, DC released a bombshell. They were like, surprise, it's actually a direct sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths, and the full title has always been Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths.
What?
So from issue 4 onward, it will be titled Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths.
So let me, real quick, it's called Dark Crisis. I already associate it with the Crisis on Infinite Earths concept. That's like the whole thing. That's the whole thing.
But also, like, Infinite Crisis was a sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Final Crisis was a sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like,
Dr. Manhattan meme. While we're here.
Yes. Yeah. Doomsday Clock. Well, you're right. Doomsday Clock was a sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I've not read any of this yet. Like, I'm sure. Like, I've seen people really, really like it. Like, it looks like a fun, big, bombastic book. I'll probably check it out when it's done. Is this like a big like sales push, or like did they need a story reason?
And like I know that the story is that Pariah is trying to bring back his original multiverse.
Okay.
So like it is like building off of much like Infinite Crisis did when it brought back Alexander Jr. and Superman Prime.
Yeah.
Building off of a character that has disappeared since that original Crisis book. Like I get that appeal, but this really just feels like a sales push.
Yeah.
The reason why I didn't pick this up in single issues because I wanted to. I was really interested in it. But when I heard that it was set slightly in the future and that when it was done all the books are just going to remain the status quo, I was like, I don't care. Like I want this to change the status quo.
Sure. Yeah. It'd be like that. Yeah.
But anyway.
Just a weird choice.
Last thing as far as DC goes.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay. Last thing as far as Batman goes is that Todd McFarlane is teaming up once again with Greg Capullo to do a Batman Spawn crossover comic.
That's radical. That's cool. Good for them.
Yeah,
Greg Capullo is a terrific artist. He got his name on Spawn. I have no reason to hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, at least it'll look great, and
I have heard from people in the know that Spawn's a pretty good comic. Spawn's a pretty good comic.
I mean, it's been going for over 300 issues. That's got to be, right?
Yeah, it's even with the relaunches and stuff, like, Todd McFarlane might be away about certain things, but, like, that dude could write a Spawn comic, apparently. Yeah. The one thing he's got, yeah.
But there's no other details other than that it's coming out in December.
Cool.
All right, Marvel.
Batman and Spawn. It's weird that it took them this long. All right.
They've done it before.
What happened?
I don't know.
I glitched. What happened?
I'm pretty sure Batman and Spawn have hung out before, haven't they?
I don't think so.
In Mortal Kombat in DC, though.
I could have swore I saw a Batman Spawn comic at Earth 2 years ago.
Maybe. Who knows?
Spawn has crossed over with a lot of characters. I'm not sure if Batman is one of them. I know Hellboy has crossed over with Batman.
Sure. There's just no way to find out.
I know the Ninja Turtles did too.
Sure.
Yeah, and the Power Rangers.
It has happened.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's happened.
Is it Dark Claw? Dark Claw kind of looks like Spawn.
It was a one shot. It seems.
Oh, okay.
With Frank Miller.
Frank Miller, weird.
Interesting.
All right. Anyway, Marvel time.
Marvel is a lot more diverse than DC.
At least this year.
Right off the bat, we got Doctor Strange, Fall Sunrise, written and drawn by Tradd Moore.
Shut your mouth.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Tradd Moore, Doctor Strange? Oh, God, it's perfect.
We haven't seen Tradd Moore in a long time.
Ghost Rider, baby. It's
been
like 8 years.
But no. Silver Surfer Black, I think, was the last thing he did.
That's a couple years ago. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's an incredible book.
Did he also write New 52 Superboy?
No. Justin Jordan. You think you're Justin Jordan. Tradd Moore is the artist.
Oh, okay.
Tradd Moore is the artist from Luther Strode. He drew Ghost Rider, all new Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, and then he's done Silver Surfer Black, which is great.
Got it.
And now he'll write. So this is the first time he's writing. He's never published any written work before.
Ooh.
Good for him.
And this is his first time writing. So he'll do Doctor Strange comic, which will follow Doctor Strange as he is trapped in a kind of like a hellish fantasy world.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Excited.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
cool.
4-issue miniseries.
He's not drawing this, is he?
Yes, he's writing and drawing.
Okay.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah.
So I say that'd be a crime if he wasn't drawing and writing it.
Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt. This is going to be written by J.M. DeMatteis.
Yeah, you got it.
With art by Eder Messias. It's going to be a 5-issue miniseries, and will detail Kraven's origin story.
You know what? I made Kraven's Last Hunt a book club, which was written by Mr. J.M. DeMatteis, and I think that's pretty good. So if anyone has the right to write more Kraven shit, it's that guy. So sure,
yeah, I
go
agree.
for it.
The timing of this is curious.
Oh no,
Marvel just throwing Sony a bone.
There you go.
Oh, it's gonna definitely do the lineage of all the Cravens. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Dark Web will be an event between the X-Men and Spider-Man.
What?
Written by Zeb Wells with art by Adam Kubert and Ed McGuinness.
Wow.
Woo! Madeline Pryor, baby.
Yeah, Madeline Pryor is supposedly the main villain.
The Goblin Queen.
I'm excited for this.
The thing about
Ryan. So real quickly, Ryan. There's a Ryan Stegman art piece. It looks so good.
So the thing, if for the listeners at home, Madeline Pryor is a clone of Jean Grey, but you also have Spider-Man clones like Kane and what's his name, Ben Reilly. Yeah. So some clones are getting together and they're getting spicy together, and I'm like, why are you guys being spicy with Madeline Pryor, Spider-Man, the other Spider-Man? What's going on here? Love it.
Madeline Pryor already has a bone to pick with the X-Men.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's Zeb Wells doing it, who did the Hellions run with Madeline Pryor, and the Spider-Man stuff. So like,
oh man, this looks good.
All roses. Baby.
Are you looking at the Ryan Stegman art?
I am. Yeah. I'm also looking at a couple of the covers. This looks good.
Extreme X-Men. Chris Claremont will return to write with Salvador Larroca. It's going to be a 5-issue miniseries, and will pick up after the final issue of their original Extreme X-Men run.
This is very nice for Papa Chris Claremont. Salvador Larroca is the guy who did that book. He did that book with him over 20 years ago at this point. So like, it is cool that he gets to continue his little part of the X-Men. He's made it very clear he doesn't like the Krakoa shit. That's not his baby. And I respect him for respecting his wishes and stuff. So like, he's gonna get to play with the stuff he's already known. Doesn't mess with our stuff. Like, it's cool. Everybody wins.
The plot of this, like the crux of the story, is that a powerful psychic attack on Kitty Pryde from her old enemy Ogun brings the Extreme team back together for a high-stakes mission.
Ogun, that's a deep cut, Chris. You know
that's
what you're
a
doing.
name I haven't heard
since 1987.
It's been a long time.
Cold War. Marvel are launching a new event called Cold War next year, which will unite the two Captain Americas. So Sam and Steve. No specific creative team was announced, but it's likely it will be Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, and Tochi Onibuchi, who are the writers of both Captain America titles.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to reveal the truth about the conspiracy behind the creation of Captain America's shield, and a new version of Nomad will appear, and that's all we know so far.
I don't know if we need a new secret origin of his shield. I think that's kind of stupid or whatever. But like, a Nomad's a cool character. I love when a Captain America becomes a Nomad. Like, I'm a man of the people walking down the street or whatever. What's so special about a shield? Like, we get it. It's his weapon. Like, why does it got to be secrety and stuff?
Yeah, why is everything you knew about it got to be wrong?
Especially his shield.
Yeah, it's weird, but you know, the two Captain America titles are apparently really good. I haven't had a chance to pick them up yet. So you know, that'd be cool.
I'm just happy like we're getting a comic that like, hey, Sam's Cap, Steve's Cap, like we're not forgetting that they're both Captain America. That's really nice.
Yeah, I agree.
Fantastic Four. This was not. This was the only announcement that we have gotten is that in November a new creative team will be taking over the title.
So there is. Thank God Dan Slott's leaving. Thank you, God.
There's an art. There's apparently an art. There's like the art that they released is like a compass that apparently has hints to who the creative team are, but nobody has figured it out yet.
1 second. I got to remember this guy's name because he follows me on Twitter and he's a comic book writer and he's currently writing. His name's David Proposi. He's writing Savage Avengers and he's also writing the Fantastic Four Axe tie-in comics. So there's the big event with the Avengers Externals X-Men happening right now. Eternals, excuse me. And he's writing the Fantastic Four. So I'm hoping it's that guy because that dude is a really awesome writer. He's like an up-and-comer at Marvel. And I hope it's him. I just hope it's anyone else than who we got right now. So like, I'm just happy it's happening.
What if it's Al Ewing?
I think he's. I like I'll read anything he does, but like I think he's too busy with all the stuff he's already doing.
Venom and
a couple. Yeah. And he's got a ton of side stuff too.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Fantastic Four, Jonathan Hickman has revealed that he is also writing a new series for Marvel. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Hickman and Valerio Skeedy, will develop are developing what they have described as Sandman for the Marvel Universe. And that's all that we know so far, except for just words that were released, which is what happens when the powers that be meet the natural order of things.
Yes. So if you look at Jonathan Hickman's bibliography, everything he's written at Marvel, he's touched pretty much everything but magic. Mm-hmm. So people are guessing it's either Doctor Strange or magic adjacent. Like he's going to do for magic what he did with the X-Men, what he did for the Avengers, what he did for Fantastic Four. That's the theory. Obviously, it could be wrong, but that is the one corner of the universe right now. That's but like you got Clea as Strange, but that's kind of like as good as that is. You know, Doctor Strange is going to come back and be Doctor Strange, right? Everyone's assuming that is the next big thing because he's done the cosmic to death. He has not touched Marvel magic, and magic could definitely use like a big like knife to cut it. Like, hey, this is what magic in the Marvel universe is because it's so much shit. Like, just make it easier to understand.
Yeah. At any rate, it's nice to see that Hickman is still in the Marvel family, writing away.
Still hicking
away.
Ghost Rider Vengeance Forever is going to be a one-shot by Benjamin Percy and Juan Jose Rip, which will celebrate every person who has held the mantle of a Ghost Rider.
Yay! Good. I'll buy that book. That current Ghost Rider series is really, really good. I'm behind because I haven't been in the shop, but those first 3 issues, banging stuff.
I'm so far behind. I still haven't read the last issue of Ed Brisson's run.
Oh yeah, baby. That's a year away.
That's going to be a long one.
Sad news for Iron Man, because Christopher Cantwell has announced that his final issue will be number 25.
It's okay. It's okay. 25, good, respectable number in this day and age. Could have been 12. Could have been 12. Could have been 15. I'll take a 25.
He seems to be able to. I think that in this case, he's probably going to get to exit in a way he wants to.
Yes.
And he's going to move to Gold Goblin.
Gold
Goblin,
which will be written by Christopher Cantwell, but with art by Lan Medina, and we'll see Norman Osborn take over the role of the Gold Goblin, who is going to be a hero.
He's like the Green Goblin, but he loves gold.
What are you talking about, Brandon?
I didn't make this up, I swear.
I know. I'm like, what is this? What? Gold Goblin?
Norman Osborn's doing his Lex Luthor Superman.
Or Dr. Doom Iron Man.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. I love Norman Osborn when he tried to be an Avenger in Dark Reign. That was him actually trying to be a good person, but the Green Goblin in him just made him the awfulest person. So like I'm all about them rising Norman up again. I love that. That's awesome.
And Christopher Cantwell.
He can't do wrong.
So it's really cool that he's moving. He's like, I did Iron Man. Now I'm going to do Norman Osborn.
That's so cool. He writes him and Doom, and now Norman. Like he loves writing like big ego, complex characters. Like, and he's so good at it. I love it.
Yeah, he also talked a little bit. I didn't put it on here, but he talked a little bit about his Submariner book, which was which he explained is like the world has been submerged due to Kree technology, so all the heroes went off to fight the Kree, and now Namor is just on Earth ruling it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, you're the best.
Okay, I apologize.
Another character with that ego thing.
Yeah.
Namor,
yeah.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about Star Trek. Because there was a Star Trek panel that happened today. There was also some comic book stuff for Star Trek, which I'll touch on first. So the first news that I'll touch on is that Star Trek is getting a new ongoing series, which will be set 3 years after Deep Space Nine. And we'll see Benjamin Sisko return from the wormhole.
That's cool. Okay.
Which is huge, guys.
Yeah.
Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, who wrote Star Trek Year 5. By all intents and purposes, been a very good book. I haven't picked it up. I've picked up every issue, but I haven't read them yet. But it's been highly regarded with Ramon Rosanas. So I'm going to read the description because I think this sounds really cool. An epic and unprecedented adventure story that spans the far reaches of the Star Trek multiverse, bringing together characters from across the galaxy and all eras and variations of the beloved franchise who must band together to prevent the mysterious murder of the gods.
That's a Star Trek book?
It's a Star Trek book.
Sounds like a lot.
And it's Benjamin Sisko, because spoilers for Deep Space Nine, but Benjamin Sisko went to become one with the prophets and the wormhole and the Bajoran wormhole, and now he's returned and he's like omniscient. He can travel through time. He can like look through. That's why the multiverse thing, because we're using Benjamin Sisko to kind of branch off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. How many buttholes does he have again?
6.
Oh my God, that's too many buttholes.
But we saw a bit of the crew. It's he's going to travel on a ship with other Starfleet members through time. There's going to be a TNG Data, a post Nemesis Beverly.
It sounds like What If.
A little bit, but like what's cool about this is, one, it's an ongoing. That's crazy that this concept they feel like can sustain an ongoing.
Yeah.
And then 2, this is kind of a book I've wanted for a very, very long time. And Benjamin Sisko has been a character that has been kept off the table because no one was ever all his buttholes because Avery Brooks never wanted to come back to play Benjamin Sisko. He's done with acting. He just wants to play his piano in peace.
It's respectable.
And so like there's just been like, we can't really use Benjamin Sisko because what if Avery Brooks comes back? But this is like definitive with being like, no, we're going to do the next Benjamin Sisko story. We're finally taking this character out of the vault and doing something with him.
That's awesome.
And I think this is a really crazy and bold and cool way to go.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
Okay. Star Trek Picard. No footage for the next season of Star Trek Picard, which surprised me a little bit.
What do you mean? I saw plenty of this. I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm also back.
There were plenty of GIFs, but there's a lot of cool like sound bites from the season and whatnot. What the big deal is that we saw what all these characters look like now, and some of them have Starfleet uniforms, some of them don't. Geordi is Commodore LaForge, which I thought was cool. He talks about he's a father now, and I was like, oh shit, good for you. Worf might be Captain Worf, although they're not sure about that. I love his new look, this white hair, and he's got the sword on his back, and he's in a Starfleet uniform. I'm like, hell yeah.
He's like a silver fox, yeah.
So like there's some cool stuff there, and I was really happy to see. And Patrick Stewart was asked, will you sit on the bridge of the Enterprise again? And he was like, actually, there's a lot of Enterprises. It was confusing. And everyone just went, excuse me?
What?
And the showrunner was like, shut up.
Doctor Strange who?
So I'm hopeful for the season. I like the last season enough and all these characters coming back is a dream come true. So gonna debut in 2023.
Nice.
Star Trek Lower Decks released its first trailer for season 3, and it looks so good.
Hell yeah.
Did anybody see this? I know Sparks didn't. Ryan, you didn't see this?
I did watch any trailers.
No, I saw it, and I haven't seen season 2 yet, so it probably spoiled something for me.
Yeah, you spoiled that the captain got arrested.
That's why I don't watch trailers for seasons I haven't watched, because what if I watch the show?
Ryan, you really like the show. You should check it out.
Eventually I will.
No, Lower Decks is truly hilarious.
It's actually kind of wild that like Ben is into Lower Decks and Sparks is into Strange New Worlds, and so I'm getting people into like one Star Trek show at a time.
Slowly but surely, your plan is working, Brandon.
And it's never the same one. You know what? That's the beauty of current day Star Trek. There's always something for everyone.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really cool stuff in the season. It looks a lot more looks a lot more like an adventure story, kind of maybe a little bit more serialized. There's a search for Spock kind of narrative happening where they're trying to figure out how to free their captain, who's being framed for the destruction of a planet. And then the end of the trailer was we saw Deep Space Nine. And that was really cool. And apparently they're going to actually go on Deep Space Nine and be on the promenade and maybe interact with a character or two. We'll see.
When does this take place in the timeline?
5 years after Star Trek Voyager ended.
Gotcha. Cool.
So the mid 2380s.
Lovely.
Yeah.
We're still talking about Lower Decks, right?
Yeah, that's still Lower Decks.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot the exact year. I knew the exact year off the top of my head at one point, but I forgot it at this point. But yeah, it's before there's a very traumatic event that happens in Star Trek Picard season 1 that they have to kind of get some distance from because they're such a lighthearted show. And so they really only had like one space to play in. But the season looks incredible, and you can tell that they put a lot of love once again into the show. There's a lot of references that I'm missing, but one that I remember specifically is I'm so happy I watched the animated series. There's an episode of the animated series, the first Star Trek animated series, where the Enterprise meets a Native American deity called Kukulkan. And turns out he was an alien who came to Earth and wanted to enslave people and blah, 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 and whatever. And he becomes a villain. And he's in this season. He's going to be in this season. And I was like, oh shit, that's really wild. And he's a giant snake bird. Like he's like a serpent with like wings.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, Kukulkan.
Yeah, that's like a yeah.
It's not the last I'll talk about Star Trek Lower Decks, though. So Star Trek Strange...
Kukulkan?
Kukulkan. Star Trek Strange New Worlds had a panel. They didn't show any footage for the next season. I don't think they would. They just ended their first season. Why would they? They spent most of the time talking about the first season and how it happened and blah, blah, blah. Season 2 will debut in 2023. I think it's probably early 2023. I think it's the show after Prodigy, personally. So it's going to be Lower Decks, Prodigy, Strange New Worlds, Picard. That's my theory. So Paul Wesley will obviously we know he's returning as Kirk. He's going to be Lieutenant Kirk when he shows up again in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And then Tawny Newsome and Jack Quaid crashed the panel.
Woo!
And they walked out and they were like, what are we doing here? Oh, right. We're going to announce that Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks are going to have a crossover episode in Strange New Worlds Season 2. And guys, my dad was asleep in the hospital. He's in his hospital bed. And I cannot tell you the squeal I had to withhold from the world.
Hold on. The cartoon cast is going to appear on. That's the coolest crossover of all time.
Right?
Yeah.
It will be live action primarily, but there will be animated sequences.
That's going to get me to watch those shows. That'll do it.
Oh.
That's really cool.
I mean, I saw that and I thought, how are they going to put Strange New Worlds with Lower Decks?
Well, so the idea is that Lower Decks is we're just seeing it through an animated lens, but it looks it to like the people in Star Trek, it would look no different than anything other in Star Trek.
Right.
So like if they showed up, it would be Tawny Newsome and Jack Quaid. And that's what they said. It's like Jack Quaid's like, yeah, I'm gonna be on Strange New Worlds, except I'm going to have blue hair and in a red shirt.
That's awesome. That is really awesome.
And I just
take that, like, Star Wars.
Like I've wanted crossover between these shows for so long, and I didn't think in a million years I'd see it on Strange New Worlds with Lower Decks.
Yeah, that's like the crossover you never expected, but the ones that we all deserve.
Sparks?
They're in different timelines, aren't they?
Well, time travel exists.
Multiverses, time travel.
You
know how it works.
It's not multiverse. It's probably time travel.
Special stuff happens.
It's cool. It's just going to be so crazy because like I really like those characters on Lower Decks, and to see them in a live action form on Strange New World is just the best news. And then the final news was like, and this episode was directed by Jonathan Frakes, who's Riker. It's just like this is
also noted director.
This was the best news. Yeah, he directed First Contact. He directed incredible episodes of Star Trek. This was the news of Comic-Con for me. This was it.
Yeah,
this was Paramount. Look at you.
Shit. Come on,
girl.
Oh,
Paramount.
Ooh, Paramount. Ooh,
like Marvel did something that got me very close to feeling like this. But they still didn't hit this level of just the sheer unbridled joy and excitement I felt at the prospect of this crossover episode.
That is extremely cool, and it is with shows that people really like too. Like it is like Star Trek. Star Trek's back, baby. That's awesome.
It's the two best Star Trek shows crossing over on the best Star Trek show.
That's so cool.
I'm so excited.
That's definitely going to get me to watch that show for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Sparks. Sparks' first experience with the Strange New World with the Lower Decks crew will be in a Strange New Worlds episode.
I guess so.
Tawny Newsome was like, yeah, we're gonna show up and stress you guys out, and I was like, yeah, you are. I'm so stoked, guys.
All right.
It was gonna have animated sequences, and then they closed out the panel by just saying that there are two new Star Trek shows in development, but they didn't say what they are.
Too many.
Potentially Section 31 and Starfleet Academy is, if I had to guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've heard about those two at this point. Yeah. Cool. They're waiting because Picard's ending after season 3, they want to fill that slot with something else.
Makes sense.
All right, DC news.
The Chow.
Lightning McQueen?
No, Dachau.
Dachau. Sorry, I thought you said Kachow.
No. Different intellectual properties.
Gotham Knights had a Batgirl trailer. We don't need to talk about it. It looks like everything else from that game.
Yeah, she looks really cool. I'm liking all the different styles of play that each character has, like different combos, different weapon types and stuff. It's super funny that because I saw people complain on Twitter, they're giving her the spoiler or like the Cassandra Cain Batgirl outfit, and I'm like, oh, why can't Cass be in the game? I guess. But whatever, it's cool.
Yeah,
Barbara's fine.
I mean, the thing is, I'm sorry, Barbara. She's not the most interesting Batgirl.
A lot of the first aren't the most interesting, and that's the thing we all got to just learn to accept about ourselves.
Yeah,
and so a lot of these legacy characters.
Teen Titans Go is a show that's still going. I actually didn't realize that it was. I thought they had aired their final episodes because I hadn't heard anything about it in a long time. But Zack Snyder is going to play himself in an upcoming episode.
Yeah, Teen Titans Go has been going strong, and I think this is a perfectly cool appearance. If there's anywhere where Zack Snyder might be willing to take the piss out of himself, it would be here. Because Teen Titans Go is definitely a catering to that kind of audience.
Did you guys see Jim Lee's very tactful answer to the question, is Zack Snyder returning to DC Comics to make another DC movie? Because that Jim Lee does his own panel where he draws and answers questions and whatnot at Comic-Con. And he was asked, is Zack Snyder coming back to do, because there's the persistent rumor that happened this week. And he was like, we were really happy to get the Snyder cut out there. And we were really I boarded a lot of I boarded a lot of that movie, and it was really cool to see those concepts that I boarded, finally back in this, and we really, really championed that. But no, we have no current plans to work with him again right now.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. DC also released had their screening of Beware My Power, which is the new Green Lantern movie coming out, set in their new current timeline.
That the Jon Stewart one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. But one of the things that got me really excited when they do these premieres is that they announce what the next movies are going to be. So obviously we know about Superman, Batman, Super Sons.
Yeah.
We know about Super Sons coming. We know about Ruby, Justice League. We know about that. But now we know about 3 new ones, which are Batman, The Doom That Came to Gotham.
Batman.
The Doom That Came to Gotham is a Mike Mignola book.
Batman.
Legion of Superheroes.
There we go. Now we're talking.
And Justice League Warworld.
Man.
Ooh.
Some cool sounding stuff.
Warworlds. Yeah. I love Mongol. Mongol's a cool guy.
We have no information on any of these movies except for Batman, The Doom That Came to Gotham, which is the only one that shares a name with a comic. So it's probably an adaptation of that comic, at least in some way. So yeah, that's cool. I'm excited for those.
Yeah, I'm happy that it's not 3 different Batman books or Batman movies. It is cool that the Legion is getting some love because Legion is cool.
Yeah. Okay. I have a question for you guys. Which one do we want to do first? Shazam, Black Adam, or Sandman?
Ooh, I want to do Shazam last.
All right, we'll do Sandman.
You guys talk about it. I'm gonna watch that trailer.
All right, so Sandman had a panel which released a new trailer. The news, however, Ryan, can you still hear me? Because this is exciting.
I can kind of hear you.
Dave McKean, who is the illustrator on Sandman, is coming out of retirement. Had come out of retirement to personally illustrate new and unique end credits for each episode of Sandman season 1.
That's fantastic. Cool. So much sand in this trailer. I can't believe it.
I think this trailer looks incredible. This is I think this is a better trailer than the first. Personally,
you guys gotta talk while I watch.
Sparks, have you seen this one?
Yeah, I think Sandman shows a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. And Ben, you haven't seen this one, right?
No, I saw this one.
Okay. We get a lot more of what's his name? The Corinthian? He's the guy with the teeth in his.
Correct.
We get a lot more of him in this season. He's like the main villain this season.
Is that the guy? It's the robot guy from Logan, the bad guy from Logan. I forget his name. Hoyd Holbrook or something.
Hoyd Holbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this looks visually awesome.
Yeah, I think it looks. I think this show looks incredible. We get more of Jenna Coleman. We see. Oh, what's the girl from Game of Thrones? Lucifer.
Gwendolyn Christie.
You see Lucifer for a hot second. That was really cool.
Quite honestly, I think this looks really, really, really great.
Yeah, this looks stunning.
I've seen enough. Yeah, it looks great. I don't need to see any more.
This
looks
is
awesome.
Alan Heinberg's helping write the scripts for these episodes, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
word?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Young Avengers himself? Hell yeah.
And the very successful script of that first Wonder Woman film.
Yeah.
Alan Heinberg is co-writing, I think, all of the episodes. So
doubly interested now.
Yeah, I'm so pumped.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this one.
Ooh, get ready to read some volumes, baby. Just one volume.
Black
One
Adam.
Big volume.
Big boy volume.
Sandman comes out the same day as Prey.
Oh, at least one's in theaters, one's at home, so it makes it.
And
better.
a lot of movies, actually. Bullet Train.
No,
They,
Ryan.
Them.
Both are at home.
Oh. Let's go to the movies.
Bullet Train is also out the same day. They Them is out the same day.
Jesus Christ.
It's a lot.
2022 is trying to kill me.
Anyway, how about Black Adam?
Black Adam.
So
Black
I
Adam.
actually was wrong. I did not see this trailer. I don't know why I thought I did, but for some reason I thought I did, but I did not see this trailer.
A lot more Dr. Fate in this one, which I was excited about.
Yeah. We get more of the JSA in general.
Yeah. Apparently there's a longer version that was shown to Comic-Con attendees.
That makes sense because this feels weirdly short and with too many repeating shots from the previous trailer, I have to say.
Yeah, Amanda Waller is in this movie, and apparently she sends the Justice Society after Black Adam.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What?
Interesting, right?
I'm still curious about maybe you don't need like a real villain, but like what's like is
It's
Black
interesting.
Yeah, but like how is it are they plot B and Black Adam is our hero villain? That's what I'm hoping. Because I hope it's not like a bunch of dudes on bikes as the bad guys.
Yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing of this. I actually like what I'm seeing of Dwayne Johnson. It looks like he's really putting a lot of heart into this. Like he really wants this to be good.
Yeah.
And he's actually like attempting to be as far away from his good guy persona as he is comfortable being.
That's true. Yeah.
Which is nice to see. Because him as a bad guy, quite honestly, hasn't been a thing since Doom.
Yeah, it's been like literally 20 years almost. Yeah.
Yeah. So like if this is as close as he wants to get to that bad guy, then I'm still here for it.
Yeah, same. I think all the powers from all the different heroes we've seen look cool. Like the multiple Dr. Fates looks
Multiple
cool.
Fates. There's a bit where like Dr. Fate takes off his helmet and he like stumbles into his Kent Nelson persona. I thought that was cool.
I still think it looks kind of brown.
Yeah.
Which might just it's Kondak. It's like it's what it's gonna look like, I guess.
it's the what do they call it? The third world filter.
Yeah. Definitely. Maybe it'll be more exotic, like more locations than we've seen, but it is definitely seeing like it's a lot of brown on brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. I mean,
I do too. This just, like I said, I think this trailer just doesn't show enough more to get me on board with the film beyond like me being a fan of The Rock, me being a fan of these actors, me being a fan of these characters.
We've had enough trailers now, whether it's 1, 2, or 2 plus this 1 minute one, but like we've seen enough where like I'm still waiting for like the big thing, and I'm not.
It's like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, I'm waiting for like, oh, that's like, because like I agree, like I like all these characters and actors and stuff, but like it's not giving me like the I need to see it immediately vibe.
Yeah. Did you see the footage of The Rock showing up at Comic-Con?
Yes.
Like as so he shows up as Ryan. He is dressed as Black Adam, and so like the screen, like everything is black, and then like a spotlight comes up, and he like says something, and then like lightning shoots up on the screen behind him, and he's as Black Adam.
He doesn't talk about the hierarchy of the DC universe.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
He says he wants to smack down Superman, but like, can he beat him? Really depends on who's playing him.
That is true. That is what he said.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and he was talking about like, will you fight Superman? Is this at the end of and he was like, at the end of this movie, he doesn't know who Shazam and Superman are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's new.
He's new. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
It's wild that both of those movies are coming out so close to each other, and they might not have any connected tissue. Like, I really hope there is some nod to Black Adam at the end of Shazam somehow. Just to be like, hey, these things are connected, and we will do something about that.
The closest we got to a connection was they definitely use his
100%.
face.
Yeah, like when, like the hologram or whatever.
In the hologram in the first Shazam movie, yeah. All right, well, Shazam, The Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, this looks so good.
This looks really good.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see Shazam, or this new Shazam movie. I was kind of getting a little. We are getting a second Shazam, right? It took a while.
What?
No, he was saying to himself, like, aren't we getting a second Shazam film?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I was like, we are getting another Shazam film, right? And I would forget that they announced Fear of the Gods. I'm like, okay, cool, we are.
Yeah, this was our first trailer, Fear of the Gods. We see a lot more of Helen Mirren. We see a lot more of the Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Which really surprised me.
Jimon Hunsu.
Like, he's in this movie as a character, not just as a plot device.
That's great.
I'm really happy to see that. So after he turned to dust, he went to prison?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It's comics, baby.
Yeah. Comics.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to watch these ladies play these roles. I love the humor already on display.
Yeah. I've seen all the Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah.
Big dragon.
The only thing they're really running into is these kids are getting too old, but like we knew that.
Apparently I'm kind of happy that they talked about that. That's part of the plot. Like, Billy is scared of becoming an adult. And that's like the crux of the movie. Mm-hmm. But I think I really like everything we see in this movie.
It's all about family.
Me too. I really like the cheeky references to the other superheroes, but we see Aquaman and Batman's face, but we don't see Ezra Miller.
Yeah. I really like the idea that, we know that this is going to be kind of globetrotting. We've seen from DC fandom last year, and like we know. I thought that was really cool that Hesperia, whatever Helen Mirren's character is, like, they find the wizard staff, and they use that. There's some cool stuff like the buildings moving. David F. Sandberg was like, because we're a sequel, we got to use more money, and we spent all of it. Like, you can tell, like, it looks like a more expensive movie than the first film.
For sure.
There's a lot of really cool creature designs with like the dragons and things. I'm
the
very,
Daughters of Atlas.
Daughters of Atlas. I'm very, very, very excited for this movie.
Yeah, this movie looks great.
It's very nice to be excited for another fun superhero film, especially in the DC canon, and this feels like that.
Yeah. Also,
this trailer was funny. Like, he's like Shazam is spilling his guts out to a doctor. You think he's seeing a psychiatrist or a therapist, and then the doctor's like, this is a pediatrician's office, right? And it points to all the teddy bears and everything.
He's a kid. He don't know any better.
Apparently, the DC panel opened with it opened with Shazam. It was the first panel, and it was like, and they played a clip from this movie, and it was Freddy and Rachel Ziegler's character, and she was like, "Where'd you guys meet?" And he said, Comic-Con. And she said, what's Comic-Con? And then they, boom. And then they had like all the cast on stage. And that's how they like opened the panel. I was like, that's pretty cute.
That's cute.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I was surprised. I don't want to be construed that I thought Henry Cavill was going to be in this panel. No way.
Not at all.
But I was a little surprised that we didn't see anything from like Aquaman. I understand Flash.
Aquaman got delayed, didn't it?
Yeah, but not that far.
Maybe they just want to keep everything that's this year.
Maybe. Shazam is the first movie of next year, so.
It does feel like that's their modus operandi is just focusing on the year.
Batgirl is definitely no longer coming out this year. Otherwise, I would feel like they would have shown something.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I do feel like somehow I just know, even though I haven't like gone through every piece, I know Marvel gave a lot today. And it feels like DC, I would have expected to bring more to the table because Marvel still gets D23 later this year to unveil more plans, and Disney Plus Day if they really want to as well. This is their big moment, DC's big moment for a while to get us sold on stuff. And I'm pumped for Shazam Fury of the Gods, but like I'm kind of disappointed Black Adam. The Comic-Con version of the trailer maybe was much better. But like I feel like Black Adam's coming out soon enough. You need to get us at home hype about it more than we are. The Rock is in it, so you don't have to do a lot of work. Yeah, I get that, but like still,
I feel like, and I think the Suicide Squad trailers were good, but like the Starro element is missing for Black Adam right now. Like I feel like there's something that just like it's one thing's missing that like when I see the movie, like, oh, that it all makes sense now. But like now it's like, oh, it looks like an okay trailer.
Yeah.
I'll also say I was kind of shocked that there was no even just little thing talking about Peacemaker coming back.
You're right.
That was like such a huge hit for them that I'm kind of surprised they didn't even like touch on it.
Yeah.
Marvel
had James Gunn this Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I mean, he was already back there.
No, I know.
Hey, James, can you come by?
Yeah, he could come out for like 5 minutes just to be like, I'm so glad everybody liked Peacemaker.
Now there's like a Marvel guard with a shotgun. Like, James, stay on this side.
DC's like, hey, James, come over here. And he just sweating looks over at the Marvel sniper.
Yeah, the red dot.
Yeah. Speaking of Marvel, let's talk about Marvel, but not that Marvel. We'll get to that Marvel. We'll talk about other Marvel stuff.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, what Marvel stuff are we talking about? Comics or movie stuff?
We already talked about comics.
Stuff.
We talked about comics.
Oh, show stuff. Actually,
but not the MCU yet.
Okay.
Or is it?
No, because I'm not feeling too good.
I get it.
I need to bounce out. I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay, Ben. You do what you gotta do.
Like really quickly, I love the She-Hulk trailer. I thought it was hilarious. I can't wait to watch that show.
Hold on, but we don't want Ryan to know what's happening.
Go ahead, Ben.
All right. I'm curious to see what's going on with Wakanda Forever, mostly because it's kind of like confirmed that T'Challa is dead. So that's gonna be like, that's interesting. That's about it.
Okay.
Both look great. I can't wait to see them. I'm still very interested in Wakanda Forever, and I'm gonna go rest up. Anyways.
Good night, buddy.
Good night, guys.
Good night, Ben.
Good night.
I didn't want spoilers.
I agree.
Even though we're in the Comic-Con spoiler special.
How many butts? No, I'm kidding. Okay. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur just released a clip.
Ooh.
I like the tone that they're going for. I think it looks very cute. I really like what they're doing with the show.
Yeah.
Is that on Disney Plus?
It will be on the Disney Channel and then on Disney Plus.
Oh, cool! Right on.
I like the animation style and everything. So cool. That's fun.
I Am Groot released its first trailer.
So this one, I did see this one. I don't know what I was expecting. For some reason, I thought this was going to be for like the tiniest of children's, like Paw Patrol.
Oh.
And like this, like blew my expectations away just because I thought it was something else.
Sure.
But it's Groot being goofy as shit with aliens, and I'm like,
it's Groot shorts.
It's Groot shorts. It looks like really charming. Like I think this looks heavenly. It looks really fun.
There will be 5 shorts that are going to premiere in a couple weeks, and then 5 more will premiere in a couple of months. So for 10 in total. Vin Diesel confirmed to be returning as Groot.
God, the easiest paycheck of all time.
Right. It's so wild to me that he wasn't Groot in the what's the ride at Disneyland?
Yeah, at the
collectors.
I know what you're talking about. Like the Mission Breakout. He's
Mission
not
Breakout.
the voice.
Yeah.
You can tell when you listen to it. You can tell.
Yeah.
That they just didn't want to pay him for the I Am Groot line for the ride. I don't know if that's true for Cosmic Rewind. I don't know if it's him or not.
But this looks very, very good. I'm excited for this. James Gunn is involved in it, which is cool.
Yeah, it looks really like kind of like balls to the wall, fun kid stuff.
Yeah. X-Men 97. No footage was shown, but they showed character designs. It kind of gave a little bit about what we can expect from the show.
Yeah.
Character designs look just like they did in the 90s. They've updated them a little bit. Storm has her mohawk,
even though her mohawk is from the 80s. I don't think she should have it with her 90s costume. I don't think the symmetry matches, but that's just me. But like, hey, it's cool that she has it.
Yeah. Magneto will lead the X-Men team.
Who's shocked if you watched the show or read the comics? It's literally at the end of the show. That's what happens. Like Professor Xavier goes away to hang out with his bird wife in space.
And Sunspot, Cable, Bishop, and Nightcrawler, among others, are going to be added to the roster of the X-Men for this show.
Where are the women at? Where are the women at?
We also saw villains.
That's where they're at.
I forgot to write down who we saw as like villains, but it's all the villains from the original show, and I don't think they've added anyone as far as I know.
They've added some people.
Did they?
Yep, they added Val Cooper, who is a Republican white woman. They've added Emma Frost because she wasn't around then.
Oh, you're right. She wasn't in that. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah. Fall 2023 will be when the show premieres. Later than I thought it would be, honestly. And season 2 has already been greenlit.
I'm just very curious what the animation is going to look like.
Me too.
Because like I respect them wanting to like do something nostalgic, but I also don't want it to look like shit.
I'm happy. I would be happy with a smoother version of what that 97 show was.
Yeah.
Like because like the character designs are very similar. They're keeping true, and so like I'm happy with that. I don't want to see them do something like What If.
Oh no, God, please stay away.
Right. I agree.
I want them to like. I want this to like. I want to go from like the final season of X-Men, of the original X-Men series, and I want to go to this and not have it feel so jarring that I'm
so
like,
different.
Oh, this is such a different feel. To like, I'd be okay with like, oh, this is different because this is more digital than hand drawn, but not like jarring.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of What If, though, season 2 will release in early 2023. Again, later than I thought it would be, honestly. What If Captain Carter fought the Hydro Stomper was the episode that was shown to audiences. The full episode was done, so they showed it to audiences.
Get the shitty one out of the way, I guess. Am I right, guys? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it was teased at the end of What If season 1.
Yeah.
News stories will be in this, such as a Hela story. Excited? Hela?
Hell yeah.
Cool. Odin versus the Mandarin. That one got me.
Odin is so powerful. What? All right.
Odin versus the Mandarin, and it can be said at any time.
Ooh.
Well, not any time, but a wide range of time.
Yeah, because like he's like the Mandarin is so long lived.
Yes,
but not thousands of years.
Captain Carter meeting the Winter Soldier, and Tony on Sakaar with Valkyrie and the Hulk. Which I think we got a tease of that.
Yes, that's the
cut episode.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a fun one too. Dang.
Cool. Yeah, that was the one we didn't get to see.
Yeah, that all sounds like cool stuff. Except I feel like they're tripling down on Captain Carter too hard. Unless they're going to stop writing that character like it's Steve Rogers, Captain America, but now it's a lady.
That's all I want is to like have your own characteristics and personality.
I like Captain Carter. I like Haley Atwell. I like the character. Didn't care for the episode. I was like, okay, cool. I got my Captain Carter. I got a live action Haley Atwell as Captain Carter. Okay, cool. I got to see her die. Cool. I'm good.
Yeah.
And if your biggest fan is being like, I'm good, maybe stop.
Yeah. Right, because I like Haley Atwell a lot, and I think there is good potential in Captain Carter, but you gotta write her like she is Peggy Carter, who took up the shield, not like she suddenly became Steve Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, true.
They're different people, but they don't. Yeah,
speak your truth, bro.
Season 3 has already been ordered.
I guess. Okay.
I'm open to the potential of more stories, but they gotta step it up and do
the writing has got
to with the Doctor Strange and Thor episodes.
You gotta punch those writing.
Like it's gotta get that tight again. Because if we have more misses than hits, I'm gonna be like, man, what a wash.
Yeah.
Especially with 2 Captain Carter episodes. 2. Ooh.
Now this is also being taken over from like Marvel Studios is no longer doing this. Marvel Animation is a new subsidiary of Marvel Studios that is taking over all of this.
Right.
Which is why they had their own panel. So perhaps,
but Marvel Studios birthed this in its own
true.
way. You know, like, so they're still overseeing so much of it. As far as I know, the writing staff hasn't changed.
That's true.
So that's the issue.
Yeah.
To me.
And that is the biggest issue I think of that show. Is I can get over the animation if the writing's good, but a lot of the writing
or the
wasn't
the
good.
lack of vocal direction.
Yeah.
That really hurt me on that show. Like, more so than the writing was the lack of vocal direction.
Oh my god, you're gonna have more Bucky in that show? No, Sebastian Stan, no.
Maybe they will have learned a lesson.
I hope so.
Marvel Zombies is going to be confirmed to be TVMA.
Hell yeah.
Mature. Zombie versions of Ghost, Abomination, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Okoye, and Captain America were revealed. And new heroes, so the kind of like the main cast of heroes, will include among Jimmy Woo, Kate Bishop, Yelena, Shang-Chi, Red Guardian, and Miss Marvel.
That's a fun team.
I think so.
I have so much more faith in this one because it's being written by Zeb Wells,
right.
Which I'm just beyond thrilled about. But it is rated R, which is fun for zombie stuff. And it's like, if they just do what they do with the comics and make them like fun, interactable zombies, there you go.
So Elizabeth Olsen is confirmed to return as the Scarlet Witch in Marvel Zombies. And if she's a zombie, that could mean that we're getting talking zombies.
Oh, that's all I want. That's all I want.
I like that we're getting Icarus as a zombie. Some good Eternals love.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's so tough. Oh my god.
Right. Yeah, I'm really glad that they're going for that. That we're getting some of that. I'm glad that they're bringing such fresh new players to the board for it.
I was just thinking about, like, I wonder when the next time we're going to see Jimmy Woo is, because, like, honestly, I like that character, and we haven't seen him since WandaVision.
Jimmy Woo and Kamala hanging out. That's going to be a good time.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And, like, if you look at the character designs, they all have, like, these tripped out, like, post-apocalyptic Mad Max-ish, like, stuff. Except for Red Guardian. Red Guardian's just wearing his outfit.
Jimmy Woo and Miss Marvel and Katie from Shang-Chi. Aquafina herself.
Yeah, Katie.
Oh, and Death Dealer from Shang-Chi is one of the characters.
Oh,
one of the heroes.
I didn't see that. That's all right.
That's going to be coming out in 2024.
Animation takes a while. I get it.
Yeah. All right. The one that broke the internet. Spider-Man freshman year.
They could have just made it so easy.
They could have just made it so easy.
They could have, like,
Now, is it a white dress with blue stripes, or is it
like, for real? That's exactly what happened. So when we first heard about Spider-Man freshman year, we were told it is the prequel to Spider-Man: Homecoming, the prequel to Civil War. It is Tom Holland. It is Tom Holland's first 2 years as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although someone did point out that that it was, I think, background information. I don't think this was ever said in the movies, but I think it was mentioned that he's only Spider-Man for 6 months.
Yes. Yeah.
Prior to Civil War. So you're already kind of fudging it, but like I forgave you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Spider-Man freshman year will be set 2 years. This is all information that they said. I'm only going to regurgitate information that they said.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man freshman year will be set 2 years before Captain America: Civil War. That was the first thing they said. Said 2 years before Captain America: Civil War, which makes sense. He's a junior in that movie.
Is he?
Charlie? Yeah.
I don't know if that math adds up.
No, it does, because he shows up.
Yeah, he's 16, turning 17.
Yeah, because the Civil War ending is in the beginning of Homecoming.
Right. Isn't he a sophomore in Homecoming, though?
No, he's a junior in Homecoming.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's a junior. They wouldn't make this freshman and sophomore year thing happen if he wasn't. I don't think a junior.
Sure.
Yeah, he's a junior. It maths. Charlie Cox will reprise his role as Daredevil. That's cool.
He's been there from the beginning for sure.
I mean, if you wanted to tell me that early days Spider-Man met Peter Parker, met Daredevil, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then it was announced that Benedict Cumberbatch was going to play Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then it gets weirder, because Dr. Octopus, the Rhino, Scorpion, Speed Demon, and Tarantula will all be villains in the show.
Yeah.
Which all of a sudden made me go, like, hang on. Harry Osborn, Amadeus Cho, and Nico Minora from Runaways will be his supporting cast. Will be part of his supporting cast. No Ned or MJ.
Amadeus Cho being there is also really, really, really cool.
Yeah, we met her. We met his mom in Age of Ultron.
Yep.
And the girl from Runaway. I hope it's the actress voicing her. It'd be cool to get her back.
They have to. That's only respectful if you're gonna bring that character and like her exact look.
Yeah. Norman Osborn will be in the show, and one of the images they showed us was a very similar framing device of Peter meeting Norman the same way he met Tony in Civil War.
That's when I knew they should have just called this. They can't call it a what if, but it's basically like it is a story taking place within the MCU, but it's a what if of a scenario. They have to say, it's so weird because like if they don't say this is in the MCU, then this is just a random Spider-Man thing. But like because it's using elements from the MCU, they call it in the MCU. But that's the mistake. You still gotta dive in the weeds about this nonsense because it's confusing as hell.
It just looks like the show started as a in continuity MCU show,
yes,
and became not one. And
after No Way Home, probably.
After No Way Home.
Yeah.
And the showrunners were just not, and like it could just be that the people who are writing the show don't really care. And so then it's up to the press people over at Marvel to make it clear. Like if you're just like, yeah, we're using elements of the MCU and we're doing whatever we want. Okay, sure. And then you have like, then you need someone to just be like, this is its own thing. This is a separate thing that is inspired by the MCU.
Before you say something, Sparks, like the thing that like I understand being confused, but I saw people going, "Oh my god, they're retconning all of the MCU for this," and I'm like, "You guys are just being stupid. Now you're just being ridiculous." Like I understand it's confusing, but they're not getting rid of an entire trilogy of Spider-Man movies for this cartoon. Like that's just ridiculous.
I did see like a very wild theory where they were like, this is the realigned continuity that everyone knows now that No Way Home occurred. And so this is what happened in the events of the MCU. And I'm
still doesn't make sense.
That doesn't work.
Still doesn't make sense. Still about
sorry, but no.
And like you can easily rejigger this, right? Like quite honestly, like I think you can be like, oh yeah, he met Norman Osborn prior to meeting Tony Stark. Like if you wanted to say that, because all Norman says in No Way Home is that Oscorp doesn't exist. Now at that point,
that doesn't mean Osborn isn't alive still, yeah.
Or that Oscorp never existed. Like if you want to fudge the line that way, okay, I can buy it. I'm with you. I can ride that line with you. But there's so much of this that just became like, hang on.
Yeah. Now that we're here, though, now that I know all the information, I am beyond stoked for this because we are going to get the Spider-Man that we've always wanted in animated form, where it is restrictiveless, like with a budget. It can do whatever it wants. It has all the characters we want. And it's basically at a time when Peter Parker is becoming Peter Parker. So like, there's a part of me that is like, oh, it would be cool to just have the prequel.
The animation looks great.
The animation does look great. It looks very unique too. And like, it's very 60s, like Ditko looking. I just think it's a really cool idea. And like, it is then like taking quote unquote a risk. Cause like they could have just made like the easy prequel route, but they're like, or like, since No Way Home is the prequel, we do our own original animated story that has the foundations of the MCU. I think it's a really cool idea.
Sparks?
Yeah, I'm overall fine with it. You want to make a what if we didn't have to pay Sony at the time series? I think that's fine. Yeah. I think that can be fun to watch, especially if they're willing to like pull a lot of MCU elements still into it. Not in a way where like, oh, this will be in connection, but like thinking about like timeline events, like, these things were around. Like it'd be nice to have a Spider-Man animated show where the Avengers could show up in it. Yeah. Like rather consistently. So I hope that that's the case where you can get a lot of fun stuff with those kinds of nods. And even then, like that's us seeing different versions of those characters too, because this is a very different Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I was really excited about the prospect of a animated prequel show set within the MCU. I really was. I really like this Spider-Man, and I would have loved to have seen I would have loved to have seen kind of that origin story through how we got to Civil War, how we got to Homecoming. But I do think that, like, when you really boil it down, perhaps it is a little bit restricted because Vulture is meant to be like his first main villain, his first super villain,
right?
And
you
so,
can't do a lot, yeah.
So you can't really do a lot there, and so perhaps just kind of loosening the reins was the right move to go. And to that being said, like, no matter what, this show I think has a lot of promise. I think they've said all the right things, and I really like the character designs. I'm into it. I just still lament the show that we almost had. We almost had it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that there could have been cool stuff. I just also have totally lost faith that they would have done the good stuff with it, because like you'd have to be so. Something I realize is you have to be so character focused because you can't really do super villains.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
or they'd be the lowest quality villains that like you would never touch in a movie. This new kid could take
even then, Ryan, like they can't be that, because I realize that like Homecoming only works if it's Peter's first big supervillain venture.
True. Yeah.
So like if you imply that he fought other supervillains before that, Homecoming doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So for that sophomore guy who's going through the events of Homecoming, it doesn't make sense. So I feel like we're probably better off, because I don't think they would have done the character focus that I would have wanted that version to be, because you are limited in that space. And I realized that when Brandon first sent me like the image of stuff earlier, and we were talking about it, because I at first thought, wait, if he's fighting these villains before the Vulture, that makes that whole film's impact, like that whole moment where he's like, you know, carrying the rubble saying, "Come on, Spider-Man," that whole thing, that whole arc of him learning to do that is moot if he's fought Scorpion before or something.
Yeah. That's true.
So I think this is probably a better, more interesting, more dynamic potential path.
Spectacular.
And we still got the Craig of the Creek guy, and I've been catching up on a lot of Craig of the Creek, so I'm like,
you're ready.
I'm ready. I like the animation.
Yeah. So I caught what you did.
Yeah, did you?
I did. So I decided to look it up, and you're cute. Yes, he Spider-Man, we were wrong. Spider-Man is a sophomore in Homecoming.
Well, he has to be. I was thinking of two things in particular, which is that when he's crushing on Liz, they make a big deal about her being a senior, which they wouldn't do if he was just a junior. And the other thing is because it would be a big deal for him to be going to a senior to the dance. And the other thing is that if he's a sophomore in 2016 in the fall, he has to be a junior nearing the end in 2018, because they make him restart junior year when he comes back from the blip, and then he's a senior in No Way Home. So he couldn't be a junior in Homecoming. That'd be way too long a time in the high school.
You're right.
Pretty sneaky, sis.
Well, at any rate, this show is getting a second season that's going to be retitled Spider-Man Sophomore Year.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine, because they're doing their own reimagining path. I think there's a lot of potential. A lot of people have pointed out the Norman Osborn tie design thing. He's doing the Giancarlo Esposito. So I do think that's a little bit of hopeful possible casting that they're wanting to play to.
No, he can't be Norman Osborn and Professor Xavier.
And I do think that, like, if you do this show and not tie it to the MCU, like we thought so,
not explicitly,
then you do have the potential to bring in certain characters. Like, I understand what No Way Home did. I still want Norman Osborn in the Spider-Man movies. Like, I would love to see an MCU Norman Osborn.
Yeah,
I would love to see an MCU Dr. Octopus. Like, I think that No Way Home, I think the idea that No Way Home took those villains off the table is really reductive. Yeah, and I know that's the way that Kevin Feige thinks.
Right.
And because we've seen it with his history, and I hope that is not necessarily the case, because I would like to see other versions of those characters.
Sure. I big time agree. And I also think that this provides a lot of potential, because like we've seen Charlie Cox, and we see Kingpin's character design, right?
I don't think we see Kingpin.
Oh, am I thinking of Doc Ock? I'm thinking of Doc Ock.
You think of Doc Ock.
We said Doc Ock, yeah.
But I think this creates the potential fervor that you want if we're going to get like a live action Tom Holland, Charlie Cox teaming up kind of thing. I think you can build that out of this show.
Okay. That's all the news, guys. Good night.
All right.
I don't believe you.
That was fun.
Right. Marvel.
Really glad we did it. I'll see y'all later.
No, wait, Sparks.
What?
Marvel Studios. They had their big panel. It's time for Marvel Studios. This is the one that, let's be honest, this is the one that everyone comes to for. Man, the hype surrounding this panel, even on Twitter, was insane.
I glanced at the list you wrote up here of what we're about to do, and I'm so scared. I can't.
Oh no!
Go ahead though.
Oh,
let's go.
Scared.
Let's talk about the first thing that Kevin Feige did, which was announce that Phase 4 is over.
Oh, really?
He said that Phase 4
is ending.
Phase 4. Well, he was a dick because the first thing he said, Phase 4 was over, and then he clarified, Phase 4 will be ending with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Ooh, that's gonna be a big movie. That's a big movie. That's a big movie.
The last two things that came out were the last two things of Phase 4 will be She-Hulk and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Cool. Okay.
Which they released trailers for both.
All right, I'm gonna watch She-Hulk right now.
She-Hulk looks incredible.
Yeah, I agree.
Does the CGI look better? I'll tell you in a second.
I think so.
Okay. You guys talk. I'm gonna do this.
Sure.
I just glanced at the. I'm so excited that you're watching the She-Hulk trailer because the She-Hulk trailer is the one that got me very close to feeling the same way that I felt when I heard the Star Trek news.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful. There's some good stuff there.
Yeah, I really like the dynamic that we see between Jennifer Walters and Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really fun interplay between the two of them. I think there's a lot of really fun comedy. Just the opening bit of the air horn and just like, why would you do that? I have a normal amount of rage.
She's such a better Hulk than he is.
Yeah, and like he's jealous of it. I can't talk about the big thing.
I really like Tatiana Maslany. I think that she's showing that she's going to be able to bring a game to this.
Yeah.
Blonsky seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, he can change at will.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff happening here. I'm very encouraged.
We knew that Wong was in the show, and we didn't quite know how. And we see him in this trailer briefly, and that's really fun. We got a cheeky The Book of Ashanti.
Mm-hmm.
No, the Book of All Law. Yeah, the plot of like, more superhero characters are coming up, and we need to create this kind of law division for it. It's very interesting, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think this has a lot of good potential for sure.
What's he watching? I wonder.
Wong.
Oh, Wong. Okay.
The CGI is much better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think I still feel bad that we've talked about the visual effects artists being pushed to their limits with the Marvel projects, and that shouldn't be happening. These should have enough time for them to breathe and get these things done and not have to crunch. But I am glad that they were able to clean it up, because I was tired of people like ragging on the CGI folk for the way She-Hulk looked, because I'm like, they need more time. They need more time. And again, like, it's important to remember that we were never supposed to see that trailer.
Corridor Crew had a thing where they talked about the She-Hulk, and they talked about like one of the biggest problems with it is that one of the things that people rub up against with it is that there's less detail on a woman's face than there is a man's face, and that's one of the reasons why we register better when we look at Mark Ruffalo's Hulk versus when we see Jennifer Walters' Hulk. Because by just definition, women's faces are smoother than ours.
Sure. Ryan, you watched all the way to the end of the trailer?
No.
Oh, buddy.
I had a feeling there wasn't a big reaction, so I was like,
yeah.
All the way at the end?
Yeah, you gotta watch past the She-Hulk logo. There's
you gotta keep going.
Matthew!
Yeah.
Damn it, rumors. I love when rumors are right, because
that was the moment. That was the moment where I was like,
yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, okay.
In his nice red yellow outfit. I'm glad I asked, because I could tell Ryan hadn't seen
No, I
it.
definitely. Oh, I'm pausing it. Oh, it is yellow as. Oh yeah, red and yellow. Oh, we won, baby.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy about that.
So besides Daredevil, that trailer looks really fun. I think the dynamic between the two characters is great. The two Hulks. I love that Blonsky is like a comedic guy now. That's just great. I love that. Love it. Dude, excited for it.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever will be the end of it, and they released the first trailer for that movie out in November.
Oh no, I don't want to buy Black Panther on YouTube now. All right, I'll be right back.
Should I say? Well, Michaela Coel will play Anika, which is a new character in the movie. She's a Black Panther character. Ryan, can you hear me?
Not loud enough to hear you.
Oh, except that he responded to me.
But I heard something. I can't hear you fully though.
All right.
It's very much a kind of all vibe, feeling the emotion of it, like they're trying to convey. They're trying to convey to the reality of what everyone knows the situation is.
Yes. I will be honest.
Which is tough.
I'm a little bummed that it does confirm that T'Challa is dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a baby.
It's a baby with what on its feet? Yeah, baby. He got there. He saw it.
It's my boy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like Aquaman.
Yes. They confirmed that Tenoch Huerta is playing Namor.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is very, very cool. And the second time I watched the trailer, we see the baby birth. He's got little wings on his feet. I think there's a lot of really great imagery in this movie. I think it looks gorgeous. I love what we're seeing as far as like the Loki cinematographer went to do this movie.
Right.
And you can tell. What'd you see? What happened? What'd you see? It's really funny watching him react to this trailer.
Yeah. I agree. But we knew this was coming. Like they said.
I know, but I did want a little bit of ambiguity because I still think I get it. I really do. And I understand how hard of a decision this must have been, but to take T'Challa off the board completely is I don't feel this the right decision.
I firmly stand in the same bucket. Ryan and I had a conversation recently because we both listened to the Ringerverse, and Van on there, Van Lathan talked about his very strong opinion that taking out T'Challa is a mistake. And he's like, I'm not saying T'Challa has to be in this movie. I understand them wanting to get some distance from that because emotionally it's hard for them. But taking T'Challa off the board is a mistake. Mm-hmm. Losing I'm paraphrasing what Van Lathan said, but losing Chadwick Boseman was hard, and it's real, and it's painful, and that's what happens. And T'Challa is a fictional character, and we're not supposed to go through that pain for our fictional characters like that. Mm-hmm. We're not. The beauty of that is that he can carry on, and he can continue being something and inspiring people. And we don't get that with Chadwick anymore, but we shouldn't also lose that with T'Challa.
Yeah, I agree. That being said, there's a really powerful line from Angela Bassett in the movie where she says, "I am the queen of the most powerful country in the world, and I have lost my entire family. What more do you want from me?" I think that is incredible.
Sure.
I think visually this looks stunning. So much water shit happening. Oh my God, Namor has never looked cooler in his life. Oh my God. This is one of the few times where Namor has been around for 75 years or whatever. If he got a new redesign like this, I wouldn't care. This is awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot of water effects in this like Ryan, you said it looked like Aquaman. There's this bit where the Wakandan throne room gets flooded, and I was just like, yes.
I paused it. There's a scene on the highway where there's Atlanteans, and then there's a Tuma who's one of the major Atlantean villains. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and then there's Ironheart. Oh my God.
Oh right, we get a first look at Ironheart. We see Riri.
Give me a break.
There's a shot with the Dora Milaje, which I really love, where they jump from this cliff base to fight the Atlanteans that are climbing up it. I was like, yeah.
Oh my God, bro. He's descending on his aqua throne. Oh my God, give me this movie.
I'm really stoked about it visually. Putting aside the T'Challa stuff, I'm I'm very excited about it. I'm not sure how I feel about Shuri becoming the Black Panther.
Is that who's wearing that suit?
We don't know for sure that's who that is,
but it sure looks like it.
I'm trying to how
I hope it's Lupita Nyong'o's character.
I hope that too.
Isn't she pregnant?
No, that was Namor's birth.
Oh, his Namor's okay. Gotcha. Yeah, water birth makes sense.
Because you see the wings on the feet.
Oh, that's true.
I really hope Namor mentions something about the Celestial in the ocean. he's gotta be aware of it.
Someone's got to eventually, right?
Listen, I'm looking at this Black Panther at the end, and it's pretty curvy.
Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o's pretty curvy.
No, I know. It's definitely. I definitely think it's a lady.
It's not. It's not M'Baku.
It's definitely not M'Baku with those blowing.
Not with that booty.
No, with that booty.
M'Baku has a bad booty, but not with that booty.
M'Baku's like twice as big. Man, besides the T'Challa thing, like I think I
think it looks really
awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh man. Namor. I can't believe Namor's here. He's the first mutant, y'all. This is happening.
I don't relish or envy the task they have to nail this film. No. I don't. Like that's really hard.
There's a lot of talk.
By the way, sorry, just real quick, it was confirmed because he was doing the press stuff for Nope. Daniel Kaluuya will not be returning in Black Panther because the scheduling conflicts made it so he couldn't.
I think he probably chose right as a side character or like the main lead character. Yeah.
There was a lot of talk on the stage about just how they felt that pressure to get this movie right, to honor Chadwick's legacy, and there was a lot of tears on stage about talking about it because it is as we have talked about already. Just it is a very difficult thing.
Oh yeah,
that they had to go through to get this movie made.
Yes.
This looks so sick.
And I think that really comes off in the movie. And I think not just visually, but like everything about, from this first trailer, I think they're going to nail it. I think this movie is going to be really, really great.
Visually, this feels like Ryan Coogler's doing even more dynamic things than he got to do with the first one.
Oh my God, there's like a flaming temple room.
Yeah, that's where the throne room gets flooded.
God, this movie looks awesome.
Yeah.
My Namor bias is really hard. It's hit me hard right now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, looks great.
I'm keeping the hope alive.
4 months away, yeah.
Well, that's Phase 4. So Kevin Feige decided to announce the entirety of Phase 5. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania will kick off Phase 5. We knew that movie was coming. They showed a little bit of footage, and they talked a little bit about how Scott's fame has gone to his head because he thinks he saved the world, and so he wrote a book about it.
And he's got a podcast. Yes.
And so like there's footage where he's like reading a book to a bunch of people, and he's like neglected Cassie and Hope because of this, because of his ego.
The one thing that I did sneak a leak at, it's because it was about Ant-Man and the Wasp, so I knew that movie existed. Apparently some of the footage, he says to Kang, well, you know what? I'm an Avenger. And he says,
I have that.
Oh, you go for it. Yeah.
So the one that you're referring to is I'm a conqueror. But the one that I really want to talk about is I'm an Avenger. You're an Avenger. Have I killed you yet?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty good.
Spoken from Kang. So there's going to be more Quantum Realm stuff, which we figured would be possible. It's called Quantumania. They confirmed MODOK is in the movie.
Wild.
So that rumor is true. It's MODOK is not who you think it is.
We apparently the footage showed a very comic accurate MODOK.
No, I mean like the character, like it's not the character in the comics who is MODOK.
Right.
It's a character from one of the Ant-Man movies, which is really, really fun.
Bill Murray confirmed to be in the movie.
What are you doing, Bill?
Right.
Having a good time.
So
Bill Murray all but confirmed it himself already.
That's true. It's going to be out February 17, 2023, so it's going to kick off that. Apparently Kang looks menacing as hell. This
very comic accurate.
Except he's not blue.
That's fine.
Yeah. Either way, this was the one that I really hated the fact that it was not being at Comic-Con. I was like, I would have loved to have seen Ant-Man and the Wasp footage.
Yeah.
Sure. It's coming. It's coming soon.
Buzz.
Then Secret Invasion.
This surprised me because I was confident Secret Invasion was going to come at the end of this year.
Me too. Secret Invasion.
And I will say, just before you get into it, because we're about to talk about them all, but the fact that we're coming out of this year with only 3 shows and the amount of shows they want to drop on us next year is like, that's a lot.
So Secret Invasion will be next. It's going to be Olivia. So some of the footage that was shown shows a little bit more of a grittier side to the MCU that we've seen before.
Winter Soldier.
That's what we've seen. That's what we've seen. Yeah, more along the lines of Winter Soldier than anything we've seen after. Olivia Colman is apparently an ally to Nick Fury. Don Cheadle is returning as War Machine.
Hell yeah.
Kobe Smulders is returning as Maria Hill, which I think we figured.
Yeah.
And she said on stage that it's going to be tough to know who's a Skrull and who's not. So it's like that's kind of playing with that mystery.
She said Skrull?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, there's like straight up like, no, it's about the Skrulls. Yeah. Like, okay, hell yeah.
Well, we know that Talos is in it.
Well, no, but like that is like they're just doing it like there could have been like, other things. I don't know. But yeah. I'm just happy about it.
Gonna be spring 2023.
Okay.
Then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Footage was shown. A baby rocket apparently ended the footage. So we're going to be going into a little bit into Rocket's origins.
Half world, baby.
Going to follow, but the story will. What?
Sorry, I was just gonna say that feels like that was always an inevitability with Gunn that we were gonna do that.
I felt the same way. I tweeted this. So James Gunn and I have the same favorite Guardian, Rocket Raccoon. He's talked multiple times about how he relates to Rocket Raccoon on like a personal level, and I always felt that Guardians 3 would touch on it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But the story will apparently follow Star-Lord, who's still reeling from his loss of Gamora. He must rally the team to defend the universe along with protecting one of their own. I assume Rocket, from that description. And apparently some of the footage shows Gamora, like Peter says, "I love you" to Gamora, and Gamora rejects him because it's not the same Gamora.
Right. She don't know you.
Chikwudi Iwuji, if you remember from
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. He's going to be playing the High Evolutionary.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. That is a stupid as hell villain. That's really fun.
He came out in costume. He came out in costume.
Oh, shit. That's fantastic.
When he was announced, he came out in full costume. It looks really funny. Are you looking?
Oh my god, he looks like a dumb comic book character. Hell yeah.
Right.
Oh my god, incredible.
There wasn't a lot talked about Poulter's character. He just said how excited he was to be part of this cast. But now we know that Maria Bakalova from the second Borat movie is playing Cosmo.
She's voicing Cosmo?
She's voicing Cosmo.
Cosmo's a girl.
Cosmo's a girl this time.
Oh, I love it.
That's cute.
And she's
a
actually
Russian accent. Oh.
She's actually Russian, which is fun.
That's great. Cosmo's the best.
I'm so excited to see Cosmo. I never understood why James Gunn never showed Cosmo in any of the Guardians films before.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited we finally get Cosmo.
Well, he's in the
I know, so brief.
Yeah.
So he's in the first Guardians film so briefly.
Yeah, he's coming now. She's coming.
She's coming. That's gonna be May 5th, 2023.
Man, so much stuff.
And then Echo will be summer 2023. Loki season 2, also summer 2023.
That's Hell 3 shows so far.
The Marvels will be July 28th, 2023.
May, June, July. Okay.
They did not tell us any new information about the show, about the movie.
It's far enough away, yeah.
Which I was kind of surprised about.
Me too.
That they didn't jump on Miss Marvel just ending. I was also surprised, like just jumping ahead, that there was no Miss Marvel season 2 announcement.
Yeah.
I expected that there would be. Maybe there still will be at D23, but like that could be something they're saving because you gotta bring something to D23.
Or like it could be a case of like they gotta wait for the movie to come out to announce it or something, just to be safe. I don't know. Because like
no, I feel like you gotta announce it sooner than that because they'd have to start filming soon. Like you want to still get like a lot of that cast in.
Yeah.
So you want
I got plenty of shows.
Yeah. It's true. No, I know. Like, we'll see.
Blade is going to start filming in October and will be released November 3rd, 2023.
Oh, that's a quick turnaround.
Ironheart will be fall 2023. Agatha Coven of Chaos, they changed the title from House of Harkness.
Ooh, spooky.
Will be winter 2023/2024. So we're looking at like the end of December.
So that's 5 plus What If.
Yeah, I don't think he counts What If anymore.
Sure, that's a lot. That's 6 shows they're slamming out next year.
Come on and slam.
And then he was a little bitch again because he said this 18 episode first season is going to excite you all when it's Daredevil Born Again.
It's called Daredevil Born Again?
Daredevil Born Again.
You son of a bitch, you did it.
18 episode first season. That's what he said.
Jesus. So I hope it's not a thing of like 6 seems to be working. Let's do that 3 times in one. I hope it's like they thought about.
That's really bold. That's really bold with the strategy they've had so far, and then to look at Daredevil and like, what did Daredevil do on Netflix? Well, we're gonna do more.
I mean, like
that's the thing of like overcompensation that we're always like, maybe more episodes would really give these things room to breathe. 18's a lot.
18's a lot, yeah. And like Twin Peaks had like 17 or like it had like a weird number of episodes, but that was also like a special return.
Mm-hmm.
If they're calling this season 1, 18 seems like a lot. That's almost 22. That's a lot.
Can't wait for those casting announcements to roll out, baby. Find out that cast is coming back.
This is also the first one that he called a first season. He didn't.
Yeah.
He corrected himself because he said series at first, and then he corrected himself to say season.
Right.
I watched that. I watched that video a lot because I was like, I'm getting your wording right this time.
I can't wait to like go and watch all of like the panels and stuff like after this.
Vincent D'Onofrio confirmed to return. He didn't take the opportunity to confirm either their involvement in Echo, which I thought was interesting. I looked.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, with an 18 episode season dedicated to them, I'm like, I don't need it. Like, acknowledge whatever happened with Echo and the Kingpin at the end of Hawkeye, and then move on.
And then that's it. Yeah.
That'll be out spring 2024.
I want Echo's show to be about Echo. God damn it.
Yeah.
And then Captain America: A New World Order will be out May 3rd, 2024.
Cool.
And that's when he was a little bitch again because he was like, then that's the end of Phase 5. Except there's one more. Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts will be an exciting new group of heroes. Out July 25th, 2024.
They're doing it, baby. They're doing it. They're going to introduce a bunch of heroes, and they're going to be heroes for like an entire movie, and then they're going to show up, and they're actually villains in the next movie. They're doing it, baby. Ooh.
And that's Phase 4. That's Phase 5.
Hell yeah. Phase 5 sounds fantastic.
Well, do you want to hear about Phase 6?
Shut your mouth.
Because he then decided to announce Phase 6.
Come on. No, he didn't.
He did.
Why?
Because he got really sick and tired of people having think pieces about the MCU is not going anywhere.
Oh, I bet is this I'm gonna guess because there was a bunch of trademarks happening. Yep. Is that all real? That's all like it's all.
Fantastic Four will be the first movie of Phase 6, which will be out November 8th, 2024, and we'll start filming next year.
Okay, that's 2 years. Okay, sure.
Then there's a lot of gaps. And then he announced Avengers, The Kang Dynasty, out May 2nd, 2025. And Avengers Secret Wars, out November 7th, 2025.
I gotta go, guys. This is too much. That's too much Comic-Con news. Give me a break. They said the word Secret Wars? Oh, yep. Oh boy.
So two Avengers films.
Importantly, if you didn't catch it because of how Brandon had to announce it, Avengers Secret Wars is out before Kang Dynasty.
What?
No, it's Kang Dynasty and then Secret Wars.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say that wouldn't make any sense. Secret Wars has to be the finale.
But they're 6 months apart.
They're doing an Endgame thing. They're doing another.
It's two Avengers movies in 1 year.
They're doing the Matrix. That's what the Matrix did.
Yeah.
They released some move like 6 months apart. That's oh boy. Dr. Doom, you better get here real fast, bro. You better get here real fast.
On an EW interview afterwards, he was asked if the Russo brothers are directing him. He said no. The Russo brothers are not directing these two movies.
Good. How can it's fine.
So between all these, so that's it. That's all Phase 6 was announced. But if you look at the timeline, there are 8 blank release spots.
Oh yeah, there's more sequels, more characters. More movies, shows.
So I decided. Oh, by the way, it's called the Multiverse Saga.
They named it?
They named it.
Okay.
Phase 4 through 6 is called the Multiverse Saga.
That's pretty sick. I love it.
So I decided to look up something because I remember seeing this, and they did have other trademarks. Because they just talked about the Thunderbolts, Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and we saw these trademarks. There were other trademarks. So I'm going to read you these other trademarks that happened. Because if these are true, well...
Yeah.
Nomad, Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time, Black Knight Origins, Eternity Wars, Midnight Suns,
yes,
Avengers Academy, and Celestial's End of Time.
That's a weird one.
Those are the other trademarks that they also trademarked.
Okay. All right. Some of those could be TV shows, could be movies. Yeah, okay.
So I think probably those slots, if I had to guess, we might be seeing an Eternals movie. We might be seeing Ms. Marvel Season 2. We might be seeing... Maybe
something Moon Knight related, maybe.
Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
A new Shang-Chi movie, because they probably want to get another one out.
True.
It's interesting. So a couple of things are, between phase 1 and phase 3 is about 10 years. It's 11 years. Between phase 4 and phase 6, which is the next saga, it's 5 years with double the content.
Yeah, I mean, when you build out a universe and it gets big enough, like that's kind of how it happens. Like the more stuff you put out, the bigger it's gonna get. Like,
and then the next 2 Avengers films aren't until the end of the saga, which we won't see an Avengers movie until 2025.
Well, I'm okay with that, honestly, because it'll give us a reason, or it'll give us to build up all of these characters, and then when we eventually meet a bunch of variants of them, we'll know who they are, so we don't have to explain all this stuff. We can just do the Endgame Infinity War situation, where all the characters are established, and you can just have your giant Kang venture. Yeah. That's so wild. I can't believe it's finally Kang's leading into Secret Wars. So Doom is coming. Doom is coming, y'all.
There was a potentially leaked concept art for Black Panther that showed him.
Yeah, no, he's probably in that post-credit
Maybe.
scene, y'all. He's probably in that post-credit scene.
So I thought was interesting. There are some missing titles that we've heard rumblings about. Not just rumors, but things that we know from them are coming. So Armor Wars was not announced. The Nova show, which we've heard rumors, that's not officially confirmed from them, but we've heard rumors of that.
Yeah.
We know that there's a Wakanda show coming that Ryan Coogler is working on for Disney Plus. That wasn't announced. And they didn't include the Christmas and Halloween specials that are filming right now.
Oh yeah, that Halloween one is soon too.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know, and X-Men obviously wasn't confirmed, which will probably be phase 6.
Yeah, that I got a feeling that X-Men is going to take up a lot of real estate.
Yeah. And so my theory is that those specials and the animated stuff, he no longer considers part of the phases.
Yeah, because if it is just a 30-minute, hour-long Halloween special, it's almost like I Am Groot. It's not, you don't need to that's not really included or whatever.
It's not necessarily that he doesn't think they matter. It's just that as far as this multiverse saga goes, they're not a part of it.
Yeah, which is totally fine. Yeah, man, that's 2 phases in one. That's crazy. Crazy, you Kevin for this one. You hear what I said? Crazy
Kevin for this one.
Oh, I'm sleepy.
This definitely felt like Kevin Feige went to Comic-Con being like, "You all think we're directionless? You shut your mouth."
No, and we knew they weren't directionless. It's just when you go from having 3 characters to 20 characters, it's going to seem quote unquote directionless just because it doesn't need to all funnel. We talked about this in our Ms. Marvel conversation. Not everything needs to funnel into one thing, especially when the universe is this broad. It's almost impossible to at this point. That's why you got to wait 4 more years to make another Avengers movie, which is fine.
I'm really happy with these announcements though.
Jonathan Majors being the big bad boy for the next couple of years, Doom eventually getting established. Even if Doctor Doom is not the core character of Secret Wars, Doom is Secret Wars. You do not associate Secret Wars without associating with Doctor Doom, the old comic or the new comic. He is integral to that. So the future is so good. And then we got X-Men just eating like a king, baby. Eating like a king.
What do you think, Sparks? You've been a little silent.
I really enjoy a lot of these announcements, and there's a lot I'm excited about. The Avengers films have me disheartened.
Really?
Yeah.
I won't lie. Yeah. We're talking 4 years of MCU stuff. Yes, it's more than usual, but in 4 years we'll have done all the Kang stuff essentially. And I think this will be detrimental to the longevity of the MCU past this point. It's going to mean like every 4 years you got to build to the big double hitter Avengers event now, because the audience demanded it. This is the same to me. This is no different than giving the Snyder Cut babies the Snyder Cut. We are now feeding that toxic rabid audience that said this needs to be building to something big immediately. Give it to me immediately. And I feel like we needed more. I frankly feel like we needed an Avengers film that wasn't Infinity War Endgame level to kind of bring things back down and be like, we can have a crossover thing about them doing the Avengers stuff that's not on that level, more of an Age of Ultron level or first Avengers level. And eventually we will get to that high again. But if you narrow and close those peaks, then the demand for those peaks is just going to be more rabid, more frequent, and the longevity of the MCU is going to shrink.
So I will 100% agree with you. I wish we got another small-scale Avengers movie just so they can have a fun little team up. I do agree with that. But by the time the next Avengers movies come out, it is almost a decade since the last one came out. So like enough time has passed.
That's not true. It's only
2018 was the last Avengers movie, and the next was
2019. 2019 was the last
1
Avengers
year.
film.
Sorry.
And let's be fair, there was a pandemic.
Yeah.
Take out a year, but it will have only been 4 years of them releasing content post Endgame. Only 4 years from 2021 to 2025 of MCU content. That's how much time post Endgame has been.
Sure, that is still 3 years in the future for me. So I can't. I'm just thinking on a different level than you are. I'm not thinking about 3 years in the future, like until I've seen everything. You know what I mean? Like,
Sparks does have an interesting point to bring up, because what's next? Because
in 4 years from now, I'm not worried about it.
No, but if you want to like project, because Sparks is talking about the longevity of the MCU.
Yeah.
So we've done Thanos. Well, we don't now in 3 years we'll do Kang. What's after that?
Guys, there's so many comic
Who's bigger than Kang?
No, it's not even that to me. It's just I didn't expect Secret Wars to come after only a single film with the Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that one for sure.
Like I just think we're racing to this finish line because of the fervor of chasing the Endgame dream again. And I don't think we needed to be, and I think it's a misstep to maybe give the fans that so quickly. We all knew Secret Wars was coming. I do look forward to seeing it. I hoped it was a little further down on the goalpost, that we were going to use still the television show time and movie time to expand on these characters, because we don't know what those blank slots are, but we do know that there's a lot of other characters that they're introducing, things that we need, Eternals, like things that we need to follow up on, that probably mean that there's no Fantastic Four 2 in there before this level of event with them. And
difficult to fit in, yeah.
And I think that's slightly tough. I do think like what was so successful about Endgame wasn't just that it was the culmination of these characters coming together, but the culmination of the longevity of spending time with them. Yeah. And a lot of these characters that are going to be involved in this Avengers phase, we won't have spent, while there will have been a lot of broad MCU content, the individual stories will not have been as deep or long.
I mean, you do have a point, because by the time Endgame rolled around, we had a few trilogies with certain characters, and we won't even have one by the time Secret Wars rolls around. We won't have another Thor film, most likely. We won't have. We might get another Shang-Chi film, but like you talked about, we're probably not going to see a Ms. Marvel season 2 prior to Secret Wars, most likely. So the last time we see any of those characters is as the Marvels.
Yeah,
so,
and
that's many years.
I think we're racing to this point, that I think we're already slightly clipping the potential of what it could be, because I do think, like, even in a tertiary way, like Secret Wars is such a grand thing that, like, I don't think it's bad to say like it's a goalpost, but to say it's a goalpost that soon feels And it also feels like it still feeds into that idea of like, because we're setting these dates, right? Like we have to make all of these specific things happen to make those Avengers event films possible.
Also, that's the thing, like, regardless of how like the pandemic is in the future, like it's always going to be in like this weird state, but like I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of these dates change in 4 years time, because how often have they changed throughout the entire history of the MCU? There's always changes,
right? And that's possible, but again, like it still goes back to that, for me, that core idea of I really thought we'd get like something to kind of like, okay, and now we're like on a all right, here's steady balance, and then we'll hit that peak again, and like here's an Avengers film that's not Infinity War Endgame level.
Oh, I agree with that. I do think with how crossovers are happening with these movies and these solo movies are becoming bigger and bigger, I don't think there's a situation where we don't see another Captain America Civil War situation where that's basically an Avengers movie.
I'm hoping. I think,
like, I guarantee that there'll be team up stuff that is an Avengers level thing. They won't call it that.
Believe me, I am hoping. I am discouraged by the fact that like we still haven't gotten any announcements about that on our horizon right now. Mm-hmm. Beyond the Marvels. The Marvels is a good example of it, but beyond that, like we don't have a lot of known content where like, oh, it's going to be this character, like Sam Wilson will be appearing as Captain America in another story, and here's where we're going to get like more involvement with him and associating with him and that kind of thing.
One of the things that we often thought about was Secret Wars, because we all knew Secret Wars was coming. We always said 10 years. Mm-hmm. And the next 10 years of when Secret Wars happens, because we were right that it wouldn't be phase 4. We just didn't realize that the phases would be so condensed this time around. And and a lot of it has to do with the fact that like it's about the same level of movies, but it's because of the shows, it has doubled that kind of content. And I think that's probably what they're taking into account because these phases are, as far as like content time, much longer than the first 3. Mm-hmm. It is just kind of curious that like, it goes back to what Sparks is saying of like, we don't know where other characters are going to appear. It almost kind of feels like the MCU, and we talked about this before, but like the MCU is prioritizing getting as many characters out of the gate as possible, rather than just a few that we can spend some time with and enjoy and be with to get that kind of emotional high that we had with Endgame. It would be difficult, not impossible, mind you, that Secret Wars would create the same type of kind of emotional finality that we felt when we had, because like there's so I'm kind of rambling, but like I do have a point, but like there is a sense of like, we heard prior to Endgame that going forward post Endgame, certain characters like Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, and Spider-Man would be the heads of the MCU. But as of now, we probably won't see a lot of those characters for many projects in between. And we won't get that kind of like longevity. What's the word? Kind of relationship that we had with Tony Stark or Steve Rogers. We probably won't feel that same kind of sense of, that kind of sense of relationship that we had with those characters.
I see what you guys are saying, but I think it's just too early to really say that, because like we just watched a She-Hulk trailer that has Daredevil in it, and like we have Wong showing up. Like that stuff's all still there. It's just like
it's all speculation. I'm just kind of musing and just speculating and just having a discussion. I'm not trying to poo-poo anyone's feelings here.
There's no poo-poo. There's no toilets involved anywhere. I'm just
that's what my mother does. I'm sorry. I don't know why I decided to do that.
No, yeah. I feel all of your hesitations, but like Marvel has mostly done good with everything they've done so far. Besides like the TV shows, like I think all the character stuff works. So like if they say they can get to Secret Wars in 4 years, then like I trust them. Otherwise, I don't think they would do it without feeling like they could do it with quality.
I think that you've perhaps touched on like where I'm more trepidatious, which is I fear this as not necessarily like maybe this was always the intention, maybe it wasn't, but I fear this as a response to the demand for where are we going the where are we going argument, and feeling like we've been listing so far in the MCU, which for me, I've liked not feeling like, here's how Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is also leading to Kang, and here's how Thor: Love and Thunder is also leading to Kang. Like, and I'm terrified of a more pointed focus in that direction of the stories being overtaken by the build.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and I fear that because, and I fear the lack of spending the time with these characters because, being honest, half the time with the Disney Plus shows, I don't feel like we've spent good time with the characters. And so I fear it because it's more setting these points where we've got to make all these stories like work with each other, and we're rushing these projects and we're tightening up, and we want to get to this point. We want to get to this Infinity War Endgame point again with all these characters right now. And I'm nervous for the stories that might suffer in that race. And that's where I'm like, that is more of the general. I wanted to hear more of us languishing with characters, even more like part of the race, the suddenness of the Avengers movies to me is the fact that I wanted them further away, because frankly I want them to take more time with all of the projects and not be racing through them. That's where I get afraid.
We keep talking about how we want season 2s of certain Marvel shows, and there's not really a lot of time anymore to include a season 2 of Miss Marvel or Moon Knight or something like that,
We don't know that though.
Well, but like there's so many projects that we already know are on the horizon.
Yeah, Moon Knight season 2 would not come out for more than 2 to 2.5 years, and that's plenty of there's 8 slots that are whatever open, right? Like,
well, but that's the thing. You keep saying that we're 4 years away from the next Avengers movie. We're not. We're 3, closer to 2. We're almost into 2023. We're closer to 2023 than we are to 2021
by 24 days. Yes, you're correct.
So, like, to think about it like that way, I don't see a world where, if they are making Nova, if they are making X-Men, if they are making Armor Wars, if they are making Wakanda, Wakanda series, I don't see a world where they're replacing any of those with Miss Marvel season 2, with Moon Knight season 2, with like things like that. That's why I'm still kind of confused why Loki is the only show that we know has gotten a second season, and we have no confirmation that any other show, and that there are slots, but it doesn't look like there's enough slots for the ones that we really want.
Loki seems to directly do with Kang stuff, because that's how that show ended. So I'm sure we're gonna get more of that. And also, like, Moon Knight and Miss Marvel don't need to show up in Secret Wars. They're not. That's big cosmic stuff. Like, not every character needs to show up in the big Avengers movie too. It could just be my fear is that like Secret Wars won't be as big as I want it to be, but also that might make a better movie if it's more small scale, just dealing with like the character stuff.
I think honestly, like, that's also part of my fear is I think I would feel differently if either of these films were just the one film. It's the two-parterness that has me like, so they're going hard. They're aiming for that same rush of bringing all the MCU. That's what feels so present in that.
This
concept.
Is what my brain tells me, and I do agree. I do think rushing to get to the big Secret Wars is a mistake. The way I see it is like Kang is our ultimate bad guy until the end of the Kang dynasty. That's when Doctor Doom takes his powers, and that's when Secret War happens. But then that's like, are you only doing 2 years of Doctor Doom stuff before he becomes God? That's like not enough. That's not enough time for my guy. Not at all. So like it is interesting. Yeah.
That's where I'm ending up, is that I just think it's so sudden. And I do fear like, this is me being completely honest, that this is coming from Star Wars. This is me saying that like Rise of Skywalker showed me that they will get afraid of fans talking about a certain way about a franchise, and they will nosedive and pivot to that very loud, sometimes minority audience. And I fear Kevin Feige doing that with the uproar of people talking about feeling like, the MCU is wasting their time and like, where is it going, and needing that and not appreciating the projects for what they're getting in the case of the 2 recent films that we all liked, because we engaged with them just as they were, and not embracing the idea that the shows don't have to be for everybody. and they can be for select groups. And like, yes, I want them to still be better than they've been, but they can also, I don't need Moon Knight to cater to the entire wide MCU audience. I don't want Kevin Feige to think that way either.
It
but
shouldn't
have
to, yeah.
But I fear that the fan fervor is driving that all these things need to cater to me so that I can get to that endgame high again. And that's the only thing. It's just these Avengers date announcements make me afraid of things going that direction. There is no other evidence here that says that that's what's going to happen. It's just, I do think it's rushing, but outside of that, it's just pure Star Wars did me dirty, and I'm afraid of that happening here too.
That's 100% fair.
But even so, like, I recently rewatched Age of Ultron, and like, it sucks that that's the only Avengers movie, and continues to be the only Avengers movie where they actually feel like a team. Where it's just kind of just them being Avengers, just being a team doing an Avengers mission.
Yeah, I wish that movie was better though. And
we won't get that again. We're not getting. That's not King Dynasty. That's not Secret Wars, right?
We don't know that.
Well, come on.
Listen, we didn't know.
Hold on. You really think that Kang Dynasty is going to be a small scale Avengers, just kind of six people just chilling on a couch?
When I'm saying small scale, I think of how Endgame small scale had the time travel stuff, and that felt pretty personal while still being a big movie.
Sure,
that's the type of personal I mean.
I think the general point we can all agree on is like the idea of an Avengers with slightly lower stakes, like just having some of our characters who would be Avengers at this current point in the MCU interact with each other against a different villain, of lower tier villain than Kang.
So the cruise line.
No, stop it. Like just something where it's allowing that kind of like using the idea of peaks and valleys implies that it's like lower quality, but that's not what I mean. I mean, like tension. It's all about like tension and like a lower level of tension for an Avengers event before you go back to the big one. Like if you're just doing the Avengers events and talking like coming off of Endgame, do your lower tier and then come back up on the high for Kang and for Secret Wars.
So here's the thing, yes. Because if our first Avengers movie coming back is a Kang Dynasty, that's a big ass movie. At this point, everyone in Endgame, everyone is an Avenger. So it's not going to be a team of, it's not going to be Miss Marvel and Captain America and Wanda, right? It's going to be whoever they can afford to be in this movie, right? So it's going to be a massive Avengers scale. So like, I do agree. Like I do lament that, like, I wish we could have got Avengers where they fight MODOK. And it's like, that's the threat. Like, you know, yeah.
Right.
That being said, I'm still excited to see Mr. Kang.
Like it's always what we wanted the Avengers films to do. It's just a little soon, I feel. But there's a lot of other great announcements here. I'm very hopeful. I'm hopeful for the future of the MCU. I'm just getting a little afraid. Mostly again, it's I acknowledge it is the Star Wars fear. It is the fear of the curtailing to the wide response. I don't want them to be shaken by people not being enthralled enough by Thor: Love and Thunder because it didn't tell them how it was connecting to everything else.
I have a feeling that these Avengers dates were made before Thor's somewhat bad box office results.
I think you're probably true.
Well, there's also the case of like the last time he talked to us about Phase 4, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was on it.
Things
Armor
change.
Wars was on it.
Things change.
That's what Sparks is talking about, right? That's what Sparks is talking about. The idea that like there are movies that are considered there are movies and shows that are considered Phase 5 that we were told were Phase 4, and the reason why they changed could be to what Sparks is talking about because of that kind of fervor of we need to know where this is going. And so Kevin Feige was like, okay, well, Phase 4 is done. Now we're going to do Phase 5.
I just don't buy into it as much as you guys do.
I think
I'm not saying that I do. I'm just saying that Sparks is bringing up a good point.
I'm bringing up just, yes, I agree with him. I'm just bringing up how I feel.
I think that it's also strange. Like, sure that like the phases ended on big Avengers films as they did, but like, it felt like there were clear points of why the phases stopped where they did and started where they did in the Infinity Saga. And this feels like, all right, we got to get into Phase 5. So Black Panther Wakanda Forever's end of Phase 4, and we'll jump into Phase 5.
Unless something big happens in Black Panther.
And there could be. It just on the surface feels arbitrary marketing weird stuff, but I also feel that way about just saying the phases to begin with.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we talk so much about it. Like at the end of the day, I don't care. I just want to watch movies. If I'm being real, like this is all really fun talk. At the end of the day, I just want to. What's the next Marvel movie, and I'll be happy to see it. Is it good? That's all I care about.
It's true.
Well, that's all of Comic-Con news then.
Good, because I got to go to bed. I'm sleepy.
There will probably be stuff on Sunday, but we'll talk about it at a later date.
Yeah.
So next time you see us, we'll probably be with our actual episode of the podcast, episode 292, where we'll talk about Paper Girls. We'll compare the first volume of the comic to the first however many episodes Amazon decides to drop on us.
I'm gonna guess 3. That's just they be doing that. Harley Quinn dropped 3 as well, apparently, or something.
So that's that. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for listening and watching to this.
Comic-Con, baby.
You can check out plenty of other content on this channel if you like this video and subscribe to this channel, such as our Fake Nerds Watch series. We talked a little bit about Ms. Marvel. There's a Fake Nerds Watch series up now of that whole thing. We talked a little bit about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. There's an entire Fake Nerds Watch series that as far as many more Fake Nerds Watches you can check out now.
True.
Basement Arcade, which are our Let's Play series, and Basement Arcade Pause Menu, which is a video game discussion series, are available on this channel as well, where you can find Ben's latest episode where he talks Kingdom Hearts with
an opera singer.
I forgot the name. Fake Nerd Book Club and Animation Station are both shows you can find on this channel. And you can, if you'd like to support us financially, you can check out Patreon or TeePublic. Both links are down below in the description. Or you can check out our website at FakeNerdPodcast.com, where you can find those links and many more. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone who listens. Thank you to everyone who watches this. Thank you to our collaborators such as Jeremy Vellucci, who does all of the music you've heard and all the music you hear on all of our shows. You can find him at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards. You can find his podcast, Suburban Proctologist, at Suburban Proctologist Official on Instagram. You can find it on iTunes, of course. Instagram at SubProc Podcast. Thank you to Mike Patola. Mike Patola just had an episode. We just finally did an episode with him. How to Train Your Dragon. That episode is up now. You can check out. You can find him on Instagram and TikTok at Mike Patola. Fake Nerd Podcast on all the social media, such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. FakeNerdGuys@gmail.com. I'm BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. I also write for Screen Rant, where I put up a few Marvel pieces you can check out. I also write for Atomic Geekdom, where I actually have an Age of Ultron piece coming out relatively soon, probably next week. And I write for KaiDramaMedia.com. Sparks?
You can find me eagerly anticipating the next piece of the MCU at Sparks Witty on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Witty.
Ryan?
You could find me just going gaga for Namor and Riri Williams and red and yellow Daredevil. You red and yellow? Yeah, that's correct. It's when they give me what I want. It makes me happy at DJ Tony Snark 616 everywhere.
And you can find Ben Magnet, who was on this earlier, at Ben Magnet 27 on all the social medias, and he writes for Fusion Gamer Magazine, Old School Gamer Magazine, and GoNintendo.com.
Yeah, there it is.
All right, subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcasts, and Pandora. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Until next time you see us, guys, stay fake nerds.
Comic-Con!